All right, so how's it going, everybody? Welcome to D&D Civil War Empire here on Forgebreaker, and tonight the champions of the Empire are on their way towards the city or village of Lomera, known as the Wizard's Playground, to kind of dig around and find what information they can about Ezator the Great. But first, as always, our announcements for the day. We have Alliance coming up again this Saturday. As you guys can recall from our Monday stream, I kind of made mention of this. They wanted to reschedule due to other conflicts, so they're going to be playing this week and not next week. So that means after this weekend session on Saturday, they're going to go 2 weeks of nothing before they come back for their next session. So just so you guys are aware of that. Our typical Ascension and Tyranny games are good to go. Haven't heard anything yet saying otherwise, so we're going to just assume that everything's good, and we're going to go with it. Giants, Amongst the Giants does return this next week on Wednesday during this time slot for Session 2. That'll be very exciting and very interesting because everybody's pretty stoked about it. And then lastly, our next Empire game will be on May 2nd. So if you guys want to tune in for that, we would be happy to have you. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything. I'm going to check in with our players. You guys about ready for recap here?
Ready and willing.
All right. So, after seeing all of the death and destruction firsthand, an individual in a gray cloak, would approach Vormash and Belvedere, and after gathering and reviving their fallen comrades, would pull them together and quickly offer aid and rush them away from the eyes of the village. Through a bit of luck, after reviving Avalana and Slavomir, they got away out of the sight of the onlookers from the massacre and into a private hideaway inside the Tipsy Ferret Inn. It was here that our party learned of a very big organization within the realm called the Evan Spy Syndicate. Was operating within the walls of the village itself. After speaking with them and learning kind of who the ESS actually was, they had a bit of time to speak with Inquisitor Radar, who would spend the next few hours relaying information, answering questions, and hoping to steer our adventurers in the right path moving forward. Our adventurers learned of the Wizard's Playground, a village named Lomera to the southwest of False Harbor, where the head wizard, Gruprix, may be able to help them understand a little more about Ezator the Great, and as well as his numerous magical items. We also learned of various temples and shrines throughout the land, namely the Shrine of Icorus, Tyrus, Natar, and the Temple of the Weave, all scattered throughout the lands. We gained a bit of information about the Dragon Wars and the impact that the wars had on the Isles, but the information was so vast that I really do hope that our heroes took some notes. So that is kind of where we left off. Our adventurers would call it a night, staying within the safety of the Enclave. And as the party headed off to bed, Avalana, by herself during her watch, would craft a short letter that she wished to send out in the morning. And that is where we are picking up. Let's bring up your map. All right, and as mentioned, the Aaron individual would offer to take you out to the boats in the morning. You'll be traveling through the well to the southeast here, so that you can make your way to the boat and get out of the village without being noticed. There's a bit of a fear that the people of the village are not going to take too kindly to you being there anymore. And as such, they want to sneak you out as quickly and easily as possible.
As we're like heading out, can I go up to Vormosh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey Vormosh, I have another weird dream again.
Oh, you had another vision.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what it was, because there was a part of it that seemed like a vision, and then there was another part that was different.
Different how?
Well, you were there, and so was Belvedere.
Would I overhear this conversation?
From the distance they are talking, you absolutely would.
So I'm not the only one then.
You had a dream too?
I'm not sure if that was a dream then, considering I recall seeing the both of you there.
Was it?
Well-
Was there that weird Jello thing and a door that we couldn't touch and stuff?
Yep.
Yes, I recall this as well, and I want to just poke Belvedere in the shoulder just to make sure this isn't a dream.
I give you a very funny look.
You never
Did
be
you
too
guys-
careful.
Did you guys also see the ships?
That I did not see.
I didn't see any ships.
All right. Well, that was the more visiony part of the dream, I guess.
Well, because I saw what essentially was King Storm executing somebody.
Interesting. Who did you see him execute?
God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
It was Baron Peradris that he watched execute. He also witnessed the Baron's oldest son and his wife end up dying at the hands of the king and his men as well.
Would I recognize like with the
You wouldn't recognize the names of the wife and son. You would recognize the name of Baron only because the king actually said Baron Peradris.
But I was also asking if I would have recognized the face at all from the dream.
No, because this would be the first time that you've ever seen this individual. So for you, they were originally you would have had no idea who this person was. They would have just been some random noble that you maybe bumped into on the street or something.
Okay. Because I was just gonna say, like, let's move a little bit of like out of character. Is like I'm not sure if it was just because like the same sprite got reused or whatever or token, but like the token for like the Baron looked the same as the guy that was in here. before. That's what I was kind of curious about.
I just used the generic noble token. That's all it was.
Okay.
Because, yeah, since they're not actually participating in the story, I didn't make a separate token for them.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Yes, I will relay that information to Formash and Avalana.
Interesting. So you witnessed an execution. Avalana, what exactly happened on these ships you say you were on?
Well, I saw one of the Empire ships, and then I saw this other ship that wasn't an Empire ship, and the naval ship was going to Ashenport, I believe, and then this other ship attacked the naval ship, and they both started attacking each other, and then they both sank. And the naval ship was actually sank right by False Harbor.
Interesting.
Yes, I can't imagine both of you having separate visions on the same night as a coincidence. These must be connected somehow.
Well, perhaps when we return to Stormhold Keep, we can possibly get some more insight.
I agree. Let's.
Did you have a vision of some kind, Formash?
Me? No, I can't recall. The last thing I remember was I was in that chamber with you two and we fought that Jello cube.
Insight check.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing.
Give me a deception check too, Vormosh. Because they're already on to you based on the fact that the other two know that they've witnessed something different, and yet one thing that was the same. Belvedere, he seems like he's telling the truth to you, but Avalana sees right through it. Maybe it's just because she's proficient at deceiving people and can recognize these sorts of things, and it's quick to call him out and realize that he's kind of bluffing a bit.
I'm going to go right up to Formash and I'm going to say, Formash, are you sure you didn't see anything?
Can I tell that she knows I'm lying?
You absolutely can.
Well, now that you mention it, I may have. It's certainly not as significant as your twos. I witnessed two men share a bottle of wine together.
Can I,
You're gonna have to give me another deception check on that one.
Yeah, can I, insight to see if he's telling me everything?
Because the only reason I say that is because Belvedere and Avalana witnessed something almost historical and kind of groundbreaking for the realm, like big plot points, and again, they would kind of be questioning it just a little bit.
Can I roll as well again?
No, you still believe him. You believe everything that he's saying still. Avalana can roll against him, though. So, deception versus insight again. And once again, Avalana sees through it. So it doesn't look like you're going to be able to keep the ruse up for much longer.
I'm going to let it slide for now. I'm going to say, all right.
Yes, very well. Slavomir, did you have a vision of some sort when you slept in for the night?
No.
How are you doing, my friend? You've been rather quiet the last day or so.
Well, he died, so can't blame him.
Death will do that to you.
I just like to say it's good to have you back, friend.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. I find it very strange that you see each other, but not me. Is this a premonition, perhaps?
I'm not sure. I don't think that was premonition as much as seeing something that had already happened. Because I know of the man that I saw. It's something that we know has already taken place.
Can I roll like a knowledge check to see what exactly we were in? Like all three of us in the same dream. Was that a vision or like a premonition?
Yeah, you can give me just a general knowledge check. So, yeah, like an insight, I guess. Yeah, we'll just call it an insight check. So based on your experiences, this felt... It felt very out of place. Like it felt too real to have not actually happened, and yet at the same time it didn't make sense that you could feel these or see these flashbacks, these things that happen in the past. You're a little concerned that maybe someone is trying to mess with your head. Maybe they want to show you things that others don't want you to know about. Whatever the case may be, something just feels a little off with it.
Well, whatever state we were in last night, I can say for certain it was much more advanced than a regular vision. When the gelatinous cube engulfed me, I felt the pain as if it was actually happening to me.
Same.
Maybe too.
Oh yeah, Jake. They went into a dungeon and they had to solve a riddle to find a way out of it. One of the riddles was there was an orb over top of the room that moonlight was shining through, and inside of the orb was a bunch of water and a key at the bottom of it. And they brought it down, and as they brought it down and went to go get the key and like stick their hand in, gelatinous cube broke out of the orb and attacked them, while Avalana was on the complete opposite side of the room.
Okay, I think this makes sense. It is because you must be too weak and I was very strong. It is okay.
Probably.
Yes.
You know what?
That has to be it.
Sure thing, my friend, sure thing. DM, would I recognize something similar to, like, you know, my own vision that I had before as like something possibly coming from the gods or from Tyr? Like, would I recognize it as something similar or not so much?
I can't remember what was the vision that I had for you before.
Well, that was part of my like the.
Oh, yeah. So that was from your deity. That wasn't from Tyrus or anything like that. You did say Tyr, right?
Yeah, I said Tyr.
Yeah, you said Tyr. Yeah, so yeah, that was from your deity. This would maybe. I mean, it felt more like, kind of like I mentioned to Vormaj. It felt like you were being forced into a dream sequence, whether you wanted to be there or not. Although it did feel like at any moment you could have just attempted to wake yourself and you would have dropped right out of that sequence. So it's really hard to tell what the hell it was.
I just remembered that I had read a book about visions, a very basic book. Could I like maybe make a knowledge check or something to see if the book mentions anything like this? Probably didn't, but
let me look at something here. Because technically, I mean, so based on your school, your Bardic College and your studies, it isn't uncommon to hear of these sorts of things in the form of spells, just not as powerful as this. Nothing that would be able to encapsulate, multiple people into one dream sequence. So, in all honesty, yeah, you might believe that this is maybe controlled from the outside, but again, it's that kind of power would be absolutely unheard of.
Well, whoever or whatever's doing this, they must be quite powerful to get us all to have this similar visions and then be in the same dream.
Yes, I believe whoever or whatever gave us that dream is probably the one that also gave us our previous visions, Alana.
That makes sense.
So what's our next move?
Well, I suppose we leave and head to the next town where we're going to learn about your coins, right?
Yes, that's right. And learn more about S01E15.
All right, and as you guys are carrying on this conversation, Aaron kind of walks out here, seeing you guys talking amongst yourselves and being mourning, is quick to kind of chime in and see if you guys are ready for your journeys. Informs you that he does have a boat ready for you, some very basic supplies and things of that nature. And whenever you're ready, to let him know, and he would be glad to assist you.
Are you guys ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, let's do this.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell him that we're ready to go.
All right, and then he kind of points you over in the direction of the well, to kind of make your way down. As you approach the well over here to the southeast, you notice that it's not just a basic well. There's actually a very clever and deceptive wooden like a basket, like a solid oak basket or tub full of water in it. It makes it look like you're looking down into the water, but if you grab onto the side, you can lift it out of the way, and it reveals there's a platform underneath of it that everybody could, or one person at a time, could step onto and make their way down to the underground cave to head out of the village.
Before we step in, I go up to Belvedere and I go, what about your little assistant? How will he know where we'll be going?
Sorry, kind of out
Yeah,
a
you
little bit
were
there.
you were breaking up a little bit there.
Your little assistant, Freddy, was it? How do we inform him that we're headed to this other town?
I think he should be fine where he's at. He's at the store. He's at Stormhold Keep. So, unless you would wish me to send for him to bring him there.
Do we have anything that we want him to send back?
That's up to you guys. Not anything I can personally think of.
All right. Then I just go ahead and step forward. If you say he'll be fine, then I trust your word.
After everyone has gone down the thing, I'll go to Aaron.
Yep.
I'll hand him my letter. I don't want anyone to see me giving him the letter.
All right. So you hand it to him, give him very specific instructions, to which he nods. You hand him a couple pieces of gold to kind of...
I'll give him 5 gold pieces for it.
All right. And as you do, he nods and says, "Don't worry, this will be taken care of at once." And then, as the party makes their way down the the well, you accompany them once the platform comes back up. As I mentioned before, because we had kind of talked about this as we were on the map here, you guys were in False Harbor over here. You had learned of many different locations on the map here. The Sapphire Woodlands off to the west, where Elotiran, the woodland village, is located, and the last rumored location of the Temple of the Weave. You also learned of the Sanguine Hinterlands and Telkara, the village of the Dragon People, where Martavir is currently overwatching the village, and the Shrine of Icorus. And then to the southwest, the village of Lomera, where you guys are headed, which is basically just a very small village, kind of keeps themselves full of wizards to practice their magic and do wizardry things. And that is where you are headed.
Also, DM, if I could interject, I would also like to compose and send a quick message and have it sent to Freddy, just to let him know that since word will probably reach, as discussed, reach Stormholm Castle and him, that let him know that I'm all right, and to just wait until we get there in a few days' time.
All right. So similar to Avalana, even though you didn't witness her doing this, you walk up to Aaron and hand him a letter or a message, just saying that he needs to seek out your squire to let him know everything's okay, and you'll be making your way to the keep within a day or two's time.
Yes.
And as you guys board the ship, as I mentioned, it's only going to take a couple hours on the ship to make your way around the southern edge or southern corner of the island here, or of the island, to make your way over to Lomera, where, as you'll see to the south here, have a pretty big and...
While we're
open
sailing,
view.
can I see if I can see the sunken ship I saw in my vision? Or see where it would have sank?
You can give me actually give me 3 perception checks. All right, so pretty decent rolls. Your very first one, however, is the only one that really matters, because as you're on the ship, you're kind of looking out onto the ocean, and you kind of see all the smaller islands around False Harbor as you're kind of sailing southwest, and as you're coming around the scene, as you kind of look around and your eyes kind of wander around, it looks very familiar. Almost something that you believe you had seen during your vision. But as you're looking around, you don't see a ship. In fact, the water's pretty calm, even though the little boat, which Aaron is piloting for you, stays very close to the islands. And as he does so, he informs you guys that it's very treacherous to take the boat out into the Ebon Sea, because it's dark for a reason. There are many sunken vessels and things of that nature in the center of the Ebon Sea, so it is very treacherous to take a boat very far away from the coast.
How was the day-long trip? 24 hours, or?
Oh no, to get over here on boat, you're looking at 3 hours, 4 hours tops.
No, I was wondering if I could get some reading in.
I
You
was actually hoping to convince Belvedere to read about the Dragon Wars.
Yeah, if you wanted to spend because it's basically going to be a short rest as you're waiting on the ship to make your way over. Belvedere, if you want to give me a section that you want me to reveal, I will do so, if it is available, of course.
I will read through chapter 4 of the Dragon Wars book.
All right. So, unfortunately,
I stare at him intently as he's reading.
As Belvedere is reading through this, he is reading of Serenus, the very first dragon emperor of the land, who was a very kind and very benevolent being throughout the realm. He, unlike most of the other dragons that usually come and go through the world, this one seemed to care very heavily for the people of the Isles, though he was quickly overthrown by a dragon called Rythis, a very angry blue dragon that wished to make the humanoids of the Living Isles pay for their deceit and claim what he believed was actually his. This eventually led to the very first Dragon War, of which point it was Rythis who would get the upper hand and would kill Serenus. But there would only be a very short period of time before a third dragon would introduce themselves to the realm, a dragon by the name of Ichorus, a silver dragon who found a new home after spending much of her life amongst the Sword Coast. And after coming out here and learning of Rythis and his very cruel treatment to the people of the Living Isles, decided to make it her life's goal to rectify the situation for the people here. But there is no actual handout for that.
Aw.
How long is in the waiting room?
Okay. What happened?
My Discord stopped working,
Oh no.
but I'm back.
You're back. All right. So, as I mentioned, it's a couple hours travel, and actually, I can change this. Let me see. Can I move this to here? Yeah. Daytime.
This doesn't. I'm not rolling for anything, but I pull out like a small book that I always keep in my father's pack, and I read that on the way.
All right. So as you arrive, you find that you are just outside of, or on the very outer edge of the village of Lomera. Wait just a second. Lots of stuff is about to happen. So, to the northeast is the very majestic waterfall that connects to Lomera Lake, which was actually, if you guys remember when you first got to the mansion and the lake behind the mansion that you guys found your way in through, that lake actually connects down to here through a small river and then through a waterfall that extends out to the ocean itself. The trip is very simple and very comforting, soothing. You get time to rest and relax and read up a little bit. The area surrounding Lomera is mostly woodlands and some swamp, with the Lomera Forest directly to the northeast, dividing the village of Lomera from False Harbor. As the the night sky gave way in the middle of the night as you guys kind of tried to head out early to make your way here as fast as possible. You get here at the very beginning of daybreak. The village itself, referred to as the Wizard's Playground, plays host to some of the realm's greatest magic users. These individuals, each one very proficient in their own schools of magic, use this village as a private escape from the rest of the island. While magic is generally accepted throughout the Living Isles, too much magic draws unwanted attention and criticism. Here, however, they are free to practice their magic in ways that they choose fit. As you enter into the village, you see that there are 9 houses that stand in Lomera. One house for each of the 8 wizards of the different schools of magic, and a small 2-story tower directly at the shore to your northeast, where the head wizard can oversee the village. The wizard each wizard treats their homes as a private study, perfecting their skills and making note of experiments. As you kind of walk into the village, getting off the ship, you hear various sounds of incantations and a few explosions around the area. Vormash, give me a perception check.
Reminds me of home.
Oh, just barely.
I'm too overwhelmed by the...
Yeah, you are. As you make your way from the boat and you kind of step out here and your senses overwhelmed by everything around you, you feel a vibration in your coin pouch. And as you kind of reach down and look inside of it, you notice that the 2 tokens that you have are now humming and vibrating, but very faintly.
Oh. This is a new development. I must find Etzator at once.
The rest of the city, as I mentioned, is somewhat barren, save for the swampy pond to the far west. To the northeast, a waterfall that drops about 100 feet from the landmass above and trickles out into the Ebon Sea. Behind the waterfall itself, as you can kind of see over here, is a small bridge that allows passage for you to walk from one side to the other, directly behind the waterfall. What are you guys doing?
Okay. I'm going to search for Etzator. Are we all in agreement on this?
If Vormash goes by himself and no one follows him, I'm gonna go with him so I can talk to him without anyone overhearing.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think, Slavomir?
I don't know if I like magic.
Curb your tongue, sir.
I think it is important that I take out my sword.
Whoa. Hey, hold on. Don't need to pull out a sword here. This is my plate. Well, it's not. I own this.
Your audio's really bad right now.
Oh, how about
It's-
now?
Yeah, I agree.
It's very robot.
How about now?
A little better.
Sounds better.
1 second. What about now?
Yeah, it's a little better.
I tell Slavomir, well, let's not pull out weapons just yet. This place reminds me of home, good sir. You know, we have weapons out back there, and I'm certain they don't have them over here either.
And I'd rather not instigate anyone. So let's just kind of keep a low profile for now.
Yes, let's. And if we come across anyone here, I would like it if I were to talk to them first?
You're in charge for now, Vornash. I will follow your lead.
Just the biggest smile on his face, like, excellent. Follow me. I go over to, let's see. I'll go over to this house first. I'm not gonna go to the tower just yet.
Okay, and as you kind of walk by, especially from the side here where you can see a window through the room, you see a female elf who is kind of, you watch her practicing an incantation, and she reaches out and grabs onto an apple, and as she's looking and focusing on this apple, you watch as the apple suddenly turns into a giant rat that she is holding in her hand.
I'll let her finish before I knock on the door. I don't want to interrupt her.
Okay, and she takes the rat, and you watch her kind of look over it for a second, and then you then watch and she casts a second spell on it, and it then turns into a pile of goop. It kind of slides through her fingers and falls to the ground below her.
Alright, I assume that's it, so I knock on the door.
And the female elf walks up, slides the little window on her door open a little bit, looks over at you. What do you want?
What time is it right now? Is it like evening?
Oh, it's super early in the morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Sorry to bother you. We were wondering if you we're looking for Ezitor. We were wondering if you've seen him lately.
She looks at you and squints a little bit and says, Ezitor? Is that a joke?
No, it's not. I have urgent business to discuss with him.
You realize Ezitor's been gone for like 200 years, right? Why are you bothering me?
Oh, I get the joke. Ha ha ha.
Did you see my message, DM?
I did.
Okay. Also, I think I might like to make an insight check on this person after that statement.
Yeah, I'll roll an insight check as well.
Okay.
I'm doing terribly.
Man, let me tell you.
I'm gonna ask her how her day is going.
She's gonna smile and say, well, I just turned my apple into a rat and then turned it into a bunch of slime. I think today's been a very progressive day for me. Both of you, doesn't even matter. You can 100% tell that she is being honest with you.
No matter. Well, sorry to have disturbed you. You have a fine day.
And she's keeping her finger on the little slide for the door, the little window, and as you say that, she doesn't even say anything, and she just flicks her finger and closes it, and walks away from the doorway.
I shout goodbye, even as the window's already closed.
Well then, I did not expect her to say that.
What was it the people who told you to find in the village?
They told me that these coins were related to Ezitor in some way. They left out the fact that he has been dead for quite some time.
She didn't say dead, so she said gone, missing.
Oh, gone. Well, 200 years though. Was Ezitor a human?
He is a he's a human wizard.
Safe to say 200 years, a human would not survive that.
Well, it's not necessarily true.
Should we go talk to the person in the big house?
Yeah, let's go talk to the person in the big house.
All right. So you turn entryway right here. You turn and make your way over to what you believe to be the head wizard's quarters, and you knock on the door. And similar to the building to the south, you hear as the slide of the little window peephole opens up, and from inside a small voice kind of echoes through the chamber and says, "What do you want? We're not taking in strays."
We're not strays, sir. We're here on strictly business. We were wondering if you could tell us what these coins have to do with Etzator. And I kind of just pull out the coins and just showing him off, hoping he can see them.
And as you do this, you hear kind of like a beating and banging against the door as this individual's trying to look through the peephole, and he sees this coin that you have in your hand. And Avalana, being somewhat close enough to the door that you can see it, you watch as his eyes grow just exponential amounts, and he quickly shuts the viewport, and you hear several locks turning and disengaging on the door as it swings wide open. As it does, you hear the door hitting what sounds like a wooden step stool and knocks it out of the way. And on the other side of the doorway, you see a halfling standing barely 3 foot tall, wearing a robe that's made for a standard wizard, so it drapes down and goes well behind him, and a wizard's hat that he seems to have crafted himself. And he kind of motions for you to come into the room as you mentioned the coin to him.
Oh, nice.
Does he motion for all of us or just for Mosh?
He welcomes everybody.
Gladly, stroll on in.
Okay, and as you kind of walk in, you realize that this is the private quarters of the head wizard here, and it's actually not very impressive. Only has a small desk and a few large bookshelves and some various personal items. But you can tell that he doesn't entertain people very often. The diminutive wizard quickly reaches out, wanting to see the coin as you enter into the room.
I flick him one of the coins, give him a good look at it.
Okay, and he quickly looks at it and is flipping it back and forth for a second. And then he starts walking away and heads back towards a stairwell that you see goes up, which you can believe to be on the top floor of this building, or his home.
As he walks away, I'm going to say, that's not yours.
Well, it's not mine either, so. I'm gonna see if I can just follow him up there. I'm gonna tell everyone to stay back because I don't want him to think we're all just a bunch of nosy neighbors.
Okay. So you make. Go ahead.
Well, if Vormash and the wizard are out of the room and I know they can't see me, can I take a look around at all the stuff that's there? See what books there are, interesting things to read and whatnot?
Sure. You can give me an investigation check and see what you can find, and then maybe I'll have you do a different roll later to see if you can actually understand it. Okay. Vormash, you make your way up the stairwell. The wizard standing, kind of looking at this coin. Like I said, he's flipping it back and forth a little bit. And as you approach, and the rest of the party's downstairs doing their thing, he kind of looks at it and then looks up at you, and he says, "This coin, it's an artifact of the great wizard Estor. Look, it even bears his mark. It's right here. Where did you get this?"
Well, the first one, a local shopkeeper from Stormhole had an intruder, and the intruder vanished into thin air and left behind that coin. The second one, I think I found it in a dungeon.
Yeah, you found it in the Shrine of Tyrus.
The second one I found at the Shrine of Tyrus.
And he looks at you and says, "Wait, you have more than one? How do you have more than one?"
Well, I only have the two that I told you about.
And he stops and continues looking, and then you watch as the wizard stands up, feeling the vibration and stuff from the coin, and walks over to a very small table. And you watch as he picks up a spyglass. The area that you're in, it's basically like a big open balcony with just like a cover over top of it, kind of like a gazebo on top of the house that he can kind of look out throughout everywhere. And he kind of reaches over and grabs a spyglass, and you see him kind of grabbing a stool that it was sitting upon, and you watch as he climbs up on top of it, and he starts looking northward, almost ignoring everything that you have to say. And a few moments pass and things get awkwardly silent for a minute. And then suddenly the wizard lets out a bit of a gasp, and he quickly jumps down off of the platform and sets the spyglass on the chair, and then ponders on things a moment, and then looks at you and says, "Of course. Now it all makes sense. Look." And he reaches down and grabs the spyglass and hands it to you, and then points in this direction, up here. And as he does, Vormash taking the spyglass, your arcane senses are quick to notice something that seems amiss. It's almost like the coin itself has a bit of a connection to the weave. However, you notice that in the north, behind that waterfall, appears to be an illusion. The wizard, kind of holding the coin in his hand, lowers it down out of sight, and you watch as the illusion's full strength begins to show. You're unable to really distinguish the difference between the rock base and the spell itself at this point, once it's moved out of the way. The wizard quickly brings the coin back up, and once again you watch as the illusion starts to reveal itself. And he looks at you and says, my boy, these coins, they are keys. The cultists, they've been here. They've been searching right around that waterfall there. Whatever's going on here, I don't want any part of this. You take your meddling and whatever magic that you're dealing with and leave the premises at once. You cannot possibly comprehend the situation that you're dealing with. I cannot have thieves or cultists or whatever you claim to be staying around in my tower. You must leave at once. If the Scarlet Hand sees you here, they're going to come for you, they will find you, and they will destroy our village.
That's absurd. When does something like that ever happen?
And he quickly gets behind you and starts pushing you, heading you down the stairwell, almost very anxious and upset. He wants you out. As all of this is going on, back downstairs, Avalana, you do find a couple of books, mostly just dealing in spells, mostly things that you would expect from wizards, like a spell book, where they're keeping random incantations and ways to perform spells, but there's really nothing of import within this area. You can tell that all of this is his studies, where he's just perfecting his art, and that's really all it is.
Boring.
Very boring.
As he's pushing me out, I'm like, oh, all right, okay, all right.
The rest of the party who's downstairs watches as Vormash is kind of being pushed down the stairs. This 3-foot tall halfling shoving him forward, trying to get him out as quickly as possible. And as he reaches the bottom floor, he grabs all of you and starts pushing you, pointing at the door, telling you to get out of his home. And as soon as you step outside of the doorway, you hear
Can I make like a check to not be pushed out?
Yeah, same. I'm going to be like, whoa, wait a second there, friend.
I'll do it too.
Ask him about my note, see if he knows the language.
Okay. So then everybody who's trying to force their way inside of here, I need you to...
I'm not want to force my way inside. I want to force my way staying in.
Yeah, we don't want to get pushed out necessarily. I want to try and talk to this guy first. And actually, I want to see if I can persuade him to like be a little bit more reasonable.
Actually, can I just strong arm him?
No, we're not doing that.
I mean, you can. It may not be a good idea, but you can.
I would like to try talking to him first.
Yeah, can I try to persuade him to at least look at this piece of paper I have?
Okay. And what are you trying to persuade him to do, Belvedere?
I just want to see if he can read the paper.
Oh, Belvedere, I'm sorry.
I want to try and first like calm him down and be like, listen, we didn't come all this way to just be booted out the door. We're actually here on behest of King Stormholm, and we were hoping to get some information on a variety of things besides just the Wizard Isator. And if there's things that you know, and there's some way that you can help us, then that would be greatly appreciated. And I'm sure my friends here also have questions and concerns of their own.
Okay. Belvedere, I need you to give me a persuasion check. Avalana, what were you saying to him?
I wanted to be like, hey, buddy. So I have this piece of paper, and you seem really smart, and it has this, like, dead language on it. You think you could, like, read it, or read what it says? That's all I'm gonna ask him. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. So both of you, Belvedere, trying to persuade him to calm down and take a moment to breathe and stop and talk to you guys. He watches. He, in a bit of a panic still, he kind of looks at the party and says, well, you certainly, look like thieves. I can't guarantee that you're not thieves. What exactly do you have for me? And then as he says this, Avalana kind of speaks up and says about the letter that she has, or the note that she has, and he looks at it and says, well, my dear, I can't tell you anything about this. This language that even I haven't studied. It's beyond my knowledge and comprehension. Though there are people still within the Isles that may know this language. Have you spoke to anyone from the Gladamain yet?
No, but isn't there like a spell that allows you to read every language? I'm pretty sure I had the chance to learn it once, but I didn't learn it because I'm an idiot.
It's only spells that are common knowledge. You can't use it on dead spells, or dead languages, as far as I know. I'm pretty certain you can't use it on dead languages.
Okay, since I rolled a natural 20, can I please ask him something else?
Sure, what do you want to ask him?
Do you happen to know where the Temple of the Weave is, or the Tomb of Ichor's Fallen is, before I go?
And he smiles and says, well, I can at least tell you that the shrine of Ichorus is within Talcara, but her tomb, it's long been hidden. I'm not for certain that it's a spell that's causing it being hidden, but it's at least being protected. Your best bet would be to speak with Martivir, the silver half-dragon in the village, to find out if she has information regarding Ichorus's tomb of the Fallen. As to your question about the Temple of the Weave, well, that's something that the mother of all magic would know, but I sadly would not. You see, the problem with the Temple of the Weave is when Mistra decided that the Living Isles was in danger, she needed to hide her temple from the rest of the realm, and so she buried it far beneath ground, in a place that no one could find. We've spent many, many days and many nights searching for that temple, but as of right now, we can't find it. I've attempted to use our resources here and gather the men and women that live within the village here to attempt to reconnect with Mistra, but she will not aid us, claiming that she will only speak to the correct people at the correct time, and we are not those people.
Well, I did not know that it was buried underground, so thank you for that. Also, I use magic. Is there a way I could maybe start worshipping Mira so maybe I can become the right person for her to talk to?
He chuckles and says, "My sweet little dear, every magic user worships Mistra. Mistra's the mother of all magic, of course. You should know this, right?"
Hey-o.
I have a very low intelligence score, whatever that means.
So you do not know this, but you have heard songs and tales of Mistra. Mistra is a god within the actual Forgotten Realms knowledge base of various gods, similar to Tyr, which Belvedere follows. Mistra is referred to as the mother of all magic. She is the one that keeps the balance of magic. She deals with ensuring that one side doesn't become too powerful, and when it does, she will intervene and make sure to rebalance the scales, because at no time should any one side become too powerful.
Oh yeah, Mistra. I know who that is.
And you watch as this individual kind of looks at the four of you again and says, "Very well, is there anything else?"
Yes, please. I know you're scared, but please tell me how these coins can help us with this Etzator situation. What do the illusions mean?
And he looks at you and says, "My boy, those coins, as I mentioned, they're keys. They unlock things. Use that key and find what you're looking for, but believe me, you don't want the dangers that are ahead. They are far too powerful and far too dangerous for you."
What I have
We're already fighting a god, so...
Would I have overheard him ranting about the cultists beforehand when he's pushing Formash down?
No, that was upstairs, unless you were specifically paying attention or trying to eavesdrop on the conversation. You would not have heard that.
We were busy trying to steal his stuff.
I was too busy. I wasn't stealing anything. That was there. I was just looking at the desk, or trying to anyway. I'm specifically telling you to not be hands on.
Don't do this. Stop it.
Do you know what these? Do you know what
Yeah,
these?
well.
What do you mean by keys? What do these open?
What do all keys open?
I don't know. Doors, chests.
Then perhaps you already know your answer, correct?
Alright, so we're looking for either a
Tombs,
door or a
temples?
chest. Maybe some windows. I know some windows have locks.
He looks at you, looks back at the party, and he's like, "This is a joke, isn't it? You people come into my village and bring these sorts of things. Are you trying to get my people killed?"
No, not at all.
We're trying to save these isles, sir. Thank you very much. We've had plenty of dealings already with cultists and undead things, and so far we've done pretty well for ourselves.
Yes, we saved an entire village not too long ago.
Saved.
In air quotes.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Hey,
yeah,
we saved Toledo as well.
And are you saying this out loud?
Yes.
As you say that out loud,
We
he
are the
kind of
champions of the Empire, sir.
he kind of perks up a little bit and he says, "Oh yes, I heard of the tales of Kalido. What was it? A ghost? Is that what you fought?"
More like a projection.
Yes, well, I can tell you that whatever it is that the Scarlet Hand are following, it's far more dangerous than a projection.
Well, we've been dealing with them too, and so far, it hasn't been too much of an issue.
I'll just say that projection was very rude, sir.
Yes, I can imagine most projections are. I mean, why do they care about the living? It's not going to harm them any. Now, is there anything else? And he kind of looks at you, still anxious and wanting to get you the hell out of his house.
Do you know Eleonora?
I'm trying to think of when they would have ever crossed paths. That was a question I was not expecting, so you got to give me a second here.
I don't think anyone was expecting
Wow. He stops and thinks, and a bit quizzically, as Slavomir, somebody who he kind of pegs to have very low intelligence, mentions a name that he hasn't heard for a few years, and he looks at you and says, "Why, yes, I'm familiar with Eleonora. She's one of the clerics of the Temple of the Gods. She's very well known, very knowledgeable. In fact, my people here have went to her about some of her research in the past, but I haven't had any dealings with her since she left Stormholm Keep."
Well, that's cool. She's doing great, just to let you know.
Did
So,
you forget
thank
about the
you for all the
time
information. Slavomir, shut up. Thank you for all the information.
Yes, thank you, good sir. Sorry to have disturbed you. Shut up.
And
I'm gonna start pushing Slavomir out the door.
so now it went from him trying to push you out the door to looking at all of you as you're pushing Slavomir out the door, making your way outside.
I mage hand his door closed at the exit.
As the door closes, you hear him kind of shuffle to the door, and you hear the click, 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 and the door's locked back. And then you hear him shuffle again, and off in the distance you hear, "Stupid thieves."
Jesus.
And we're going to take a 5-minute break after that. So yeah, we'll take 5 minutes. We'll come back, and then we will continue from here. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah. That man does not have house manners, let me tell you.
Not in the slightest.
By the way, are we...
Anyway, what did you get
Eleonora
from his
secret?
drawers?
I don't think I got anything.
I don't think we got that far, because I didn't even get to necessarily check to see what was on his desk.
Yeah, I was just rummaging.
I think I would have probably at that point spent the time to see you start opening shit, start slapping your hands and be like, "Knock it off! You're gonna get us all blown up or something."
Again.
To be fair, the first time was my fault.
To be fair, you don't go walking into a wizard's place of research and residence and start just being grabby.
Yeah, maybe you don't. By the way, why are we keeping Eleonora a secret?
I just feel like telling him that Eleonora was kidnapped would make him very scared and panicky.
You were just basically just about told him about the returned god of Tyrus destroying a bunch of people.
Do we now want to forewarn people?
There's a difference between warning and stirring into a panic. This guy is already jumpy enough. last thing we need is to say something like that, and then him trip balls and start spell slinging at us or something.
Yeah, this guy was already paranoid to begin with, so yeah, I'd say that was the right move.
I don't have my aura for another level, sir. So we need to try to be light on having to do the random saving throws.
I'll use the bathroom. I'll be back.
Okay, fair enough. And then how interested are you guys in visiting the Shrine of Ichorus?
Is that
We
want
to go everywhere.
Agreed.
Well, we want to go everywhere. The real question is, do we have the time to go everywhere?
I
Is
feel
it
like we should go talk to the dragon people.
Well, there's a dragon person at the shrine of Ichorus.
Right. It's in like the dragon person village, isn't it?
Hold on. Got the Temple of the Weave, which is somewhere in the Sapphire Woodlands. We got the Temple of Icarus Fallen, which is Sanguine Hinterland. In Martuvir, City of Telkara, and then the Shrine of Netar, which is somewhere in the woods to the southwest.
Yeah, and I feel like I could go with either one, the Shrine of Netar or the Temple of Ichorus.
I'm back. What I miss?
We're talking about where to go next.
And I am back as well.
Our plan was to go to where we are now, then to the keep, then to Kalido, and then to Telkara.
Yep, that was as of the last session. You guys had discussed which path you wanted to go, and currently, to reduce time, it would have been faster for you to travel to here, and then go from here to the keep, from the keep to Kalido to Telkara, and then figure out what you're going to do after that.
I am very adamant about going to Kalido.
Right.
She is very adamant about that.
So if we are going back to the Stormhold Keep, should we visit the king again?
I already said this previously. We kind of don't have a choice. Considering what happened, like if we don't go to the king, and we're just like, by the way, we've been traveling all over the kingdom doing shit without reporting back to you after what happened, he's not going to be very happy with us. We need to take our, so to speak, our spankings for being bad children.
All right.
Plus, Belvedere's seen him execute someone now.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
right.
Yes, he has.
So who should speak first then when we go in?
Probably me.
Okay.
I can be first.
I was going to say
no.
because I have such a high persuasion, but be my guess.
I mean,
I feel like he's gonna want to talk to you, like, especially though.
yeah, I mean,
All right.
I feel like we should start off with good news first.
It's fun listening
But like,
to
hey,
the party
we found
during break.
Eleonora, but
no, that's not quite what I was having in mind. Or
All right.
like, what information do we have? The status of the cult in Falls Harbor, because we did kind of deal in a bit of a blow, and we also have set for reinforcements, which I'm assuming at this point are probably on the way. Maybe.
They are mobilized as of this morning, yes.
So that's something, and then like whatever happens from now, we will see.
Yep.
Oh, we could also tell him that we ran into that one lady in the dungeon who was like part of the Alliance.
Right.
All right, I'll let you take the floor on that one. So I'm good to go.
All right. So, as we step back into the scenario here, Formash was informed of the magical properties of this key that he holds, though he hasn't said anything to the rest of the party yet.
I'm sure they overheard me asking him what these keys mean when he was pushing us out.
Yes.
Again, I am waiting for the opportunity to get Vormosh by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I was actually going to ask as well, based on what Vermash was asking about the keys. Like, so those coins are keys then?
Yes, apparently they're keys to either a door, a chest, or a window. But other than that, I'm still kind of at a dead end. I know these are connected to Ezetor somewhere, so maybe when we're done visiting the king, I could go back to the library and search more on him.
Well, and not necessarily specifically doors, windows, or chests, but just specific, in general, keys to locks. So we could be looking for literally about anything. And also, may I examine one or both of those coins?
Be my guest. I flick him one of the coins.
I'll take a good look at it.
I imagine it'd be easy to find what they lock because it'll have to be coin-shaped.
Belvedere, as you're holding the key, you feel the same vibration and the very faint humming that Vormosh and the High Wizard also noticed as you kind of look over the coin. But other than that, aside from the symbol on the back, obviously marking it as a relic of Ezetor, you don't really notice anything else about it.
Fair enough. I will hand the coin back to Formash. Well, what do we do next?
Holding both coins in my hands, I just want to try something real quick. I touch both coins together. Does that do anything?
No. Though, yeah, from where you were standing back to the northeast, you still glance up and you see the illusion spell that the wizard was pointing out to you. But beyond that, no, you don't notice anything.
Okay, and then I separate both coins and put them in my pack.
To answer your question, Belvedere, I think we were planning to go to the keep to speak to the king and stuff.
Yes, indeed, but I was more referring to anything immediately in this place or nearby, or is there nothing left for us to do here?
Well, it seems, based on what that one woman in her house told us, I don't think any of these other residents would fare any better. I feel like I got all the information I could out of this village.
Well, the question is, how are we going to get back? Because we definitely don't have a left. Well,
man,
not all of us anyway.
that changes things.
I thought the plan was
The
locked.
boat would be gone. I haven't removed it from the map, but I'll do that now. The boat would be gone because Aaron brought you there.
Is there a stable at all in this village?
Nope.
Glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, how long's the walk back to Stormhold?
As you head north, you're looking at about a day's worth of travel.
Ugh.
I knock on that door.
Sure.
I'll see where this goes. I'll see where this goes.
Nobody turns to say something. It just is like, you know what? Never
Alright.
mind.
You
I run up next to Vladimir to make sure he doesn't do anything too bad.
So you walk up and knock on this door, and you find a kind of hunched over, older dwarven male, long gray hair, bright green eyes, and a very malevolent smile. Kind of looks at you a little odd, very expensive clothes, and on his hip, almost like holstered at his hip, is a spell book. And he looks up at you very, very much dwarving him in size, and says, "What do you want, my tall friend?"
I have 2 questions. I am very parched. Do you have any ale?
He chuckles and says, "Well, only the ale of the dead, and I can assure you, you don't want that."
He's had worse.
I probably have had worse. But nonetheless. And then, how do you get to the keep in the fastest way?
You look, and he points straight north from where you guys are at, and says, "Just head back to the main road. That's the fastest way out of here."
Are you sure that's the fastest way? Couldn't you maybe, like, cast a spell and poof, we're there?
And he looks at you and says, "Are you an undead?"
No.
Is there someone else in this village who could cast a spell and poof, we're there?
"No, I'm sorry, my friends. I cannot be any help to you."
I'm gonna go to the next house and knock on the door, and I'm gonna keep knocking on doors until I see someone can teleport us
Christ.
there.
Hold
By the
on.
way, when Slavomir does this, it's insane. Anybody else, and all of a sudden, it makes sense.
It wasn't insane. It was necessarily insane. It was just very highly amusing and random. And after like everyone starts walking away and Slavomir, I'm going to say in Dwarvish to the gentleman, "Sorry to disturb you. Thank you for your time. Have a good day."
Next door.
You watch him kind of nod to you and quickly reach up at the door and slam it shut, and continues about his business. As Slavomir knocks on the next door, there's no response, but on the other side of the door, you hear cursing, and then suddenly a loud explosion, followed by nothing. And then for a few seconds, you hear cursing again.
I'm going to say to Avalana real quick too, and I don't know if teleportation is necessarily something that's going to be in the docket. Perhaps something a little more accessible and mundane. Perhaps if we can get someone somehow acquire another steed. And I would like to cast Find Steed and summon George.
Well, I'm
Okay.
gonna keep doing what I was doing, and Belvedere
Spectacular
can
idea.
do what he was doing.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna stay off to the side here. I'm not gonna knock on Google's
Uh,
door.
As this is going on up to the north of where you guys are at. Well, it didn't copy, did it? Hold on. There we go. I'm going to make that actual people size. Up to the north, you see as a steed begins walking around, and then stops over by the road and waits very patiently. Avalana walking up to the next door, you witness as a very tall female elf with auburn hair and gray eyes and very, very long pointed ears opens the door. Her red robes, very different from the rest of the people in the village, and she kind of looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
Hello. I am trying to get somewhere rather quickly. Do you have a way of transporting people quickly to places? I have money also to compensate you for this.
Let me check something. Hold on. You know, it's always something when I have to look up somebody's character sheet to figure out something.
Sorry.
Give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage. It is Belvedere, but it's just a generic riding horse token.
Okay.
Oh,
And it technically should be this big, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's excessive for a
Right.
horse.
So yeah, wisdom saving throw, Avalana, with advantage. As you walk up and begin speaking to her, even though your elven background generally would aid you in these situations, you feel very charmed by this individual. She speaks very softly and very kindly towards you. And as she does so, you almost feel bad for showing up at her doorstep and asking her any questions. And she looks at you and says, "My dear, I have far better things to deal with. Certainly, you can understand." And kind of watch as she kind of brushes the hair away from your face and then turns around and starts heading back to the door to close it.
Well, crap. I feel bad for inconveniencing this poor woman.
Would I have seen this go happen since I was walking up right then?
Yep.
I just look at Avalana and I'm like, yes, you should.
Vormash, once again, as you're kind of walking around looking through all of these houses and kind of peeking in, getting a feel for where everything is, the vibration of the coin continues as you kind of feel it in your coin purse, and kind of reaching down again, taking it in your hand. You notice the vibration somewhat getting a little heavier and a little more frequent.
Can I try and follow the vibration, see if it gets stronger in any other place?
Sure. Give me an investigation check. Oh yeah. So as you start walking and you head north and northeast, heading between the buildings here, you notice that as you continue heading east northeast, the vibration gets a little heavier, and then as you pull the coin from your coin purse and you hold it up in the air, you kind of glance up and to the northwest, just under the waterfall right here, you once again see the illusion spell that the wizard was mentioning in the tower.
All right.
Knock on door.
I'm gonna,
Okay. Opening that door. There's a lot of these. This time, you see a female elf, or dwarf. Very long hair, amber-colored eyes. Very dark, though. She wears very fine, tailored clothing. Has a quarterstaff resting on her hip. She kind of looks up at you and says, "Yeah, what do you want?"
Do you like ale?
She looks at you, stroking the very short stubble of a beard that dwarven women sometimes grow, and says, "What do you think?"
I happen to have some ale.
"And what kind of ale do you have, my friend?"
Don't you still have my bottle?
I
You
pull
do.
out one of my 3 jugs of ale, and I say, "Oh, this kind."
She takes a jug and pops the cork on it and gets the smell of it. And this is the really strong stuff from False Harbor, right? Or is this the one from the mansion?
It's not the really strong stuff.
Okay. She kind of takes a whiff of it and she's like, smells good, but flat. Perhaps it's been sitting for a while. What do you want for this?
I I want to share a drink and maybe discuss a few things. What is your name, dwarf woman?
My name is Hilda. Hilda Albatross.
And a fine name that is. And I take out a second jug of ale, and I start drinking that. My companions and I, we have to get back to the keep very soon, because we have important business with the king, you see. But we are very lazy, and do not want to walk a whole day. Is there any way that you can think of that would shorten our journey?
She stops and says, well, I typically don't deal in that sort of magic. I can change things. I can make stone into precious metals and things of that nature. So if you're asking me if I can help you, then no, unfortunately I cannot.
Oh, can you change stone into horses? No.
I would like to step up at this point after being very amused and watching the conversation from a little ways away. Step up and ask the nice dwarf lady if perhaps you know someone in this village that would be capable of such a feat. Maybe be able to summon a steed or something of the like.
Yes, maybe, but he left town yesterday. Said he was headed to the keep for something, but he said he would be back very shortly. How much time do you have?
Well, as I was saying, probably at least a day if we're not going to start making our way back on foot to Stormhold Keep.
Maybe in a couple hours he'll be back, but I have no guarantees. I didn't really ask him what his schedule was, so I don't really know.
And who is this?
She kind of points over to the far west house over here and says, Albrun, elf over there, he's a bit of an illusionist at times, and he can make some very fine spells and do some very fine things, but he's a bit strange as well.
I think all magic is strange. Do you think that we can sit and drink for a while and talk?
She kind of grins and says, well, of course, if that's what you would like.
I have some questions, and you seem like the appropriate person.
All right. What's everybody else doing?
I'm at the waterfall, right? Because I'm investigating vibrations.
Okay. So yeah, as you continue your path towards the waterfall, the coin, or the coins in your pouch, the two specifically, do begin to vibrate a little more, and the closer you get, the more they do vibrate. The humming growing a bit louder as you get closer to it.
Can I keep investigating or seeing where it leads?
I mean, your investigation check was leading you pretty much spot on. Was leading you over in this direction, directly under the waterfall.
Alright, so I go under the waterfall.
Okay.
Would I see Fresh like doing this and being kind of weird?
You could give me a perception check. Yeah, you see him heading over towards the waterfall. He stops on the little cliffside there, kind of looking around a little bit. He sees something, or he feels something, he senses something, but he doesn't know what. And as he kind of looks and sees the water hitting the ground, he glances behind the waterfall, noticing the bridge that connects the two sides. And on the other side, as he again takes the 2 coins into his hand and holds them up into the air, the illusion fading away on the backside, revealing a bit of a cave entrance. And then he lowers him down and hides him behind his back. And the moment that he does, the cave entrance disappears and turns into a solid rock face again.
As I see him walking over here, I'm gonna walk towards him and just ask, Vanash, is everything all right there, friend?
Yes, everything's fine. I believe I'm getting one step closer to solving this. Come down here and have a look.
I'll join him.
And I'll put the coins in front of the cave entrance again to reveal it.
Okay, so you would be right up here, and where you believed the cave entrance was, and as you kind of reach down, you take the 2 coins and you hold it up, and the cave entrance is almost the rock siding of it is almost completely transparent, but you feel as though you can't enter in, you can't go past it. However, on the rock face, you notice a symbol, very small, maybe an inch in height, half inch in width, etched and very, very faintly glowing against the rock face to the left side of where you see the opening.
I get a closer look at that symbol.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Just anything.
You can give me an investigation check. As you look at this, you quickly recognize that this is something you've seen before, and as you look at this, you grab the 2 coins and you look at the front side and see nothing, but then as you flip them both over on the back side, you recognize that the coin that was given to you from the king has a symbol that matches that's etched into the rock.
Both of you, look, the symbol on the coin matches the symbol on the rock.
Indeed.
What could it mean, though? Is there anywhere I can go from here?
I mean, you can't step into the rock face if that's what you're asking.
You said it was transparent, right? Like there's a cave
Yes.
inside?
Yes.
Alright, I might have something for that, actually. Let me check my spells.
You know the thing.
Would I have noticed that they're gone?
Okay, I have something.
Avalana, sure, after a few minutes of watching and listening to Slavomir talk with Hilda about ale and other fantastic things that interest the both of them, you notice Belvedere has kind of wandered off and has found Vormash, who is hiding on the backside of the waterfall.
Alright, I'm gonna head over to him then.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna pull out the 2 coins and I'm gonna hand the 2 coins over to Belvedere. And Belvedere, what I want you to do is point it at the cave entrance so that the entrance becomes visible again.
Alright.
Now I can see the inside, so I'm gonna cast Misty Step to teleport myself inside.
Okay. And as you attempt to teleport inside, you feel a wall of force has prevented you from entering into the chamber. As you go to teleport, your body turning into this mist, as it travels forward, it's hitting this wall directly where the rock face would be visible. and then you kind of pull yourself back and stop and realize that perhaps this isn't going to work.
Darn.
But I'll try and like reach out and like touch it, and there's like actually like a solid wall there.
As you reach out and touch, you feel the same feeling of a wall of force that prevents you from passing through it.
You don't happen to have like dispel magic or anything, would you?
No, I do not. Oh, wait. Why don't we try turning around and then walking backwards into it?
They're going to do that from now
I'll
on.
try that, I guess. I'll turn around and holding the coin, try to walk backwards into the wall.
And as you do, when you turn around and holding the coin in your hand, the coin leaving line of sight of the wall makes the wall visibly turn back into the stone face, and as you lean back against it, nothing happens.
Do I understand what's going on?
It looks like they're doing all kinds of really strange things to you. You got over here after the fact, so unfortunately, no, you have no idea what's going on.
Hey, Varmash, Belvedere.
Yes.
Oh, how long were you standing there?
For a little bit. What are you guys doing with that wall?
I'll pull the coin or rebrandish the coin to show her the cave, basically.
And as he flashes the coins up ahead, once again the illusion of the rock face disappears, but the wall of force is still there, preventing entry.
You said there was a rune on the wall by this cave entrance?
That is correct.
Sorry, go ahead, Evelina.
Have you tried putting the coin on the rune?
I was actually just about to try,
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say that as well.
So I'll put the coin, the matching coin or whatever, on the rune.
Okay, and as you look, you flip the coins over, finding the one, as I mentioned before, the one that matches the coin that the king sent to Vormash. And as you press it up against the rock face, you hear a very faint whooshing sound as the air from within the cavern escapes and comes gushing out towards you guys. The passageway now open.
Well, good call, Evelina. I'll yell for Slavomir and be like, "Oi, Slavomir, adventure!"
Can he hear us from this far, especially with the waterfall?
Yeah, you're like 20 feet away. It's not that far.
I can figure it out. First, I say goodbye to my host.
And she nods and thanks you again for the ale.
And I
Okay. The party making their way inside of this cavern. The entry is very narrow, only a few foot wide and maybe 6 foot tall. Makes passing through the cavern itself a bit difficult. As you kind of enter and pass through this little entryway into the main cavern, you find yourself inside of an underground cavern full of water. The floor around you covered in about a foot or so of water as you kind of make your way inside the room. I'll give you a full description here in just a second. Gotta move the camera.
Belvedere's sighs as he goes up past his ankles in water.
So you make it past the outer wall, and the tunnel itself widens, entering into a very massive underground cavern. The ceiling within this cavern is almost 50 foot in height. The air very stagnant. Down in the center of the cavern, a very steady stream of water coming from the north, leading out the path that you are at, exiting from the cavern itself. and kind of dropping behind the bridge or over the bridge that you entered from. To the left, a few set of stairs that lead up and around. And to the right, a tunnel that heads east towards another passageway around the corner. To the southeast, a very large hole in the floor of the cavern, but really is only a few feet deep, but quite wide. You could probably lay inside of it if you wanted to.
First thing I do is get out of the water.
Yeah, I'm gonna just step out of the water as well. Over here.
All right, and Belvedere is lighting a torch, so give me a second. Oh, you still have a torch lit.
I do.
Do you not see anything?
I mean, I can. I'm just saying for flavor wise, I would light the torch. But...
Oh yeah, I didn't change it off of that, so.
No.
Yeah, so you have a torch lit for the rest of the party. They can see what's going on around them.
Down the stairs I go.
As I see Slavomir going, I'm like, for real, don't run ahead.
Slavomir, you see the big opening that's about 10 foot wide, only a couple of feet deep, that has kind of burrowed itself, or has made the ground on top disintegrate a bit.
Can I poke at it?
You poke at it, and the ground beneath is completely solid. Again, it's just high enough that if you wanted to lay down inside of it, you could, and it would be just above you, but there's really nothing else there.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think there's anything there.
To the north, Avalana, as you're kind of exploring up there, you notice that there's a bridge that makes traversing to the northern part of the canyon or cavern a little bit easier than trying to attempt to climb the 4-foot tall cliffside here with the water rushing down. In the far back corner, way back here, you can see what appears to be a bunch of spider webs.
I say we take the bridge.
Okay.
Okay. Kind of make your way up the bridge. You notice that the water over here is only a couple inches deep. It's pretty shallow, even though it's moving pretty rapidly. The water seems to be falling from the northwest corner of the chamber up ahead.
I hate water in my shoes.
Water in only just your shoes.
Slavomir, give me a perception check.
So I see Slavomir run ahead. I yell at him again, stick together!
You see water and some cobwebs. Avalana, give me a perception check. Everybody stop. Avalana, as you look around, however, your eyes immediately focus upward, looking towards the darkness. It is there that you find two bodies hanging from the ceiling, wrapped tightly in webbing, and then suddenly you watch as they fall to the ground at your feet.
I'm gonna say, yo, I think there's some spiders in this cave. We should be careful.
Duly noted, and let's stick together.
Slavomir, as you step forward onto where you were at, you hear a very loud hissing sound, and notice as a very large spider has dropped in front of you. And I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Oops.
Oops.
We're going to put a leash on you, Slavomir.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I had to. That's weird. Oh, by the way, I have tactical wit, which allows me to add my intelligence modifier to my initiative rolls. So that's I think +5.
As if you need that right now? Okay. You're literally the top of the list, but okay. With your 21, let's go ahead and change that to 21 since you're going to use it.
Sorry, it's just I don't think I've ever used that.
There you go. You now have a 21.
Is it a once per rest ability?
It says no. It's starting at 2nd level. You can give yourself a bonus to initiative rolls equal to your intelligence modifier.
Not too shabby.
All right.
I think you could probably add it into your player sheet, or character sheet somewhere to add the initiative bonus.
All right. So, you come to the north. You see this very strange-looking spider to the north. Vormash, watching as Slavomir climbs on top of the rock, you are the first to notice the spider drop down in front of him, and you are the first to attack.
All right. So I'm gonna move up. Here. Gonna move up back there. Fireball at it.
Okay. One sec. Just had to check something. Yeah, that hits. Okay, anything else?
Yes. Actually, no. You know what? No, nothing.
No? Okay, so you quickly cast Firebolt at this spider, hitting it directly, and you watch as kind of shrieks back a little bit, squealing and kind of hissing a bit, but is still standing. Belvedere, you are up.
I would like to make my way forward over to the right of Slavomir, and as I get about to that position, I would want to drop my torch and pull out my sword and shield.
Okay.
And I'd like to cast Syrian Smite as I make my attack.
Alrighty. You're using your bonus to cast Searing Smite.
Yes.
So go ahead
there's
and
one
cast
section.
that, and then roll your attack. 14. That hits. Okay, and then roll your cast on your Searing Smite. Okay, and DC 14 con save.
Yep.
It rolled an 8.
It is on fire.
Yeah. And then 5 fire damage, and then is it at the start of its turn that it takes the fire damage again? Yeah. Fire on its turn. So 1d6 fire damage on its turn.
Yep.
Okay. So quickly jumping into the fray here, you immediately come in with the long sword, swiping at one of the legs. You watch as it kind of buckles under the pressure of the sword. And then as you do so, you hit it with the Searing Smite ability, catching it on fire. You hear this thing scream and yell, the sound just deafening as it echoes through the chamber, but it is still alive. Slavomir, you're up.
Second attack as well.
Oh, alright. Yeah, 15 hits too.
I'm gonna put some Divine Smite stank on it.
Oh. Do it. So go ahead and hit your damage on that, and then give me your other. Alrighty.
We go through. There it goes.
Alright. So describe to me how you just destroyed this thing in no time.
As I run up and give it the first slash right across the face with the burning smite, and it reels, and as it reels back in obvious pain, I go and just run the sword with channeling the divine essence of Tyr into my strike and just run it through.
And as this thing kind of drops to the ground, standing absolutely no chance against you, you watch as the sack of the spider itself bursts open, and several items fall from within it, or from the insides of it. As you kind of examine the remains of this body, you find 2 coin pouches carrying a total of 2,100 copper pieces, 1,050 silver pieces, 70 gold pieces, and 5 silver ewers worth 25 gold pieces. And you also find a spell scroll within it.
I'll pick up the spell scroll, look at it for a moment, and be like, "Yeah, this is all yours, Ramesh."
Cool. I mage hand it from him.
All right. Vormash, you are now the proud owner of a spell scroll of poison spray. And these
cool.
are the totals of everything that you just gathered out of the sack of that thing.
I already have this spell. Valana, would you like this scroll?
DM, can I use spell scrolls?
It has to be something you know. So no. So Vormash, the purpose of a spell scroll is so you don't waste a spell slot for it. I know poison spray is a cantrip, but that's the purpose of them.
I'll hold on to it. You'll never know.
Yep.
Right, I'm going to approach those 2 webbed up bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to see if I can clean them of the webs.
Okay. And as you do, the webs kind of disintegrate around the bodies. Reveals that the body directly in front of you has been dead for quite some time. But the other one, it looks fairly recent.
Hey, we got a recent one over here. Can I tell how recent?
You could give me a survival check. Your best estimate for how recent, probably within the past month, maybe a little more, but not too much.
I searched their bodies for anything useful.
You find nothing useful on their bodies, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're both dead, sad to say. This one, though, was pretty recent. Doesn't look like anyone I know. What about you guys?
I'll examine both the bodies, and obviously probably don't recognize either.
As you kind of look over the bodies, you don't really see anything of note, anything useful.
Fair enough.
Just dead bodies.
Well, we
Some
can't
Would be wanderers.
Well, we can't just leave him here in this unmarked cave in the middle of this town. So I dragged the recent dead guy, and I just put him on the stream of the water and let him float away.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if you wanted to take care of them, we should probably, carry them out, not just kind of like let them dump out the river. But
I mean, that's something. So you let the closest body to you float down the river. That's gonna be a thing now.
It was very unsanitary. It had to be done.
That is gonna be a thing.
All right. You say that like it's a bad thing. Just get rid of some bodies. All right.
That
If
is gonna be a thing.
no one has any other objections, I take the other body and put that on the street.
I'm just gonna do it before Belvedere even says anything, because I was gonna say to Slavomir and point at the spider and be like, that's why we don't run ahead.
Okay.
And then I see Vernash doing that, and I'm like, as I say that, as I said before, we could just carry those out. Even if they are their bodies, if you really want to treat them with respect, we don't just dump them in the river.
This is a thing.
These two have been dead for quite some time. I doubt anyone's gonna want them around their houses.
Did you release both of them or just the one?
I'm in the middle of putting the second one on the stream, and Belvedere's talking to me.
Okay.
I tell Vormash to stop with the second one.
Oops. Hold on. I just moved the map.
It's breaking the world.
I'm breaking the world here.
Look, I don't know. These two had nothing of value on them. I'm sure they're just two wanderers who found this cave and just got eaten by a giant spider. They had nothing on them, and I don't recognize either of them. So
That doesn't mean they don't deserve to be treated with respect.
Put the body down on the ground.
How far away is the other one? Was it like too far to catch up and try and
I
grab the other
mean,
one?
you can try, but it's going to be a dexterity save to try to keep up with it.
My favorite. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to try to stop the other body from jettisoning out of this cave.
all right, no, that's fine. I'll put the other body down. How far is the first body? Is it within 30 feet?
It's halfway to the entryway.
It's over 30 feet.
I run after one.
Dexterity save, Slavomir.
Can I cast Misty Step to teleport myself to the body?
I mean, you could cast Misty Step and try to get ahead of the body to catch it, like up there.
Is 19 not good enough?
That's a dexterity roll, not a dexterity save.
Oh, how do I get a dexterity save?
It should have a column directly to the right of that, top right of that, that's for saves.
I mean, to be fair, it was probably about the same thing for him either way.
I mean, yeah, you can run forward and attempt to catch it, move your movement speed through the water to stay on your feet. Avalana and Belvedere, yeah, you stay on your feet. So yeah, you can move your movement speed to it. Avalana and Belvedere, unfortunately, your feet get swept up as you're trying to run forward, and it kind of tosses you under, and you feel yourself somewhat submerged in the water. Again, it's only a few inches deep, so it's not like you're going underwater much.
And now I'm completely soaked.
Mm-hmm.
I pull out both coins and start searching for vibrations.
I'm gonna get up and go to the body of that Vormash didn't throw away.
Assuming Slavomir makes his way to...
Slavomir, where are you at? Move your movement speed down towards the body here.
Yeah, I guess that's where I'd be. And
Okay. You could double.
and I have the I have the uncanny sense of things that are nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that I can see.
Okay. So yeah, you see the water. You can once again dex save and try to stay on your feet as you charge towards this body to keep it from making its way out of the cavern.
Yeah, my second one's not as good as my first. Roll.
Yeah, the second one. So as you get to about here, where you can see the mist of the water rising, the fall kind of drops off a little bit, and you lose your footing and kind of slip forward. However, as you start to make your way towards the exit of this chamber, you notice as the body kind of swimming in that direction. While it has your attention, it seems there's something far greater that has your attention, and you watch as this stalagmite directly right here begins extending tentacles or tendrils out in the direction of it, and immediately grabs for the body to wrap it up and pull it into an opening that is now its mouth on the rock face of this.
Oh, jeez.
I need everybody to once again roll me initiative, please.
Oh, did I notice anything with my coins though before that?
Give me an investigation check.
Belvedere's angrily cursing as he picks himself up out of the water.
You notice once again a vibration off to your east. Although it's not as strong as the previous time, it is almost due east of where you're at.
Hold on, I feel the vibrations heading east. We should inform the others.
All right. But actually, since we were alone, can I have taken this chance before initiative to talk to Vermosh because we're finally alone?
I mean, only seconds would pass, so you wouldn't be able to get much out.
Okay. Never mind then.
Woo!
So with that, let's see.
Oh, hold on, forgot to roll initiative.
All right.
Plus my intelligence.
So yeah, as this is going on, Slavomir sliding kind of on his butt forward as he slipped down the falls here and makes his way towards where you watch the body get grabbed by this thing in the water and lifted up to these very sharp, spiky teeth, and kind of sucks it into its body. It notices as Slavomir's sliding down and immediately tries reaching out and grabbing onto him with one of these many tendrils that start to appear. Slavomir, I need you to give me a... What is it? Strength check, please. Oh yeah, so as this tendril reaches out and grabs onto your feet, you're able to quickly shuffle your feet out of the way, keeping it from grabbing onto you. As it does, let's see, what is... I'm trying to remember all my distances here, so you gotta give me a second. It doesn't... Oh, there it is, 50 feet. Okay. Yeah, I will also need the same thing from Belvedere. Please give me a strength save, please. Oh, hold on. No, that was wrong. So the strength save works, but yeah, I'm gonna have to make actual attacks. So Slavomir, as you're watching this tendril reach out and hit you, trying to grab on. Trying to remember what this says. That's so dumb. Okay, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't. Okay. Yeah, no, you're fine. Belvedere, give me a strength save. This thing is reading really strange because it's giving me attack rolls, but it shouldn't give me attack rolls. I don't know why it's doing that. Belvedere, unfortunately, you feel as the tendril, it reaches out in your direction, grabs onto your foot, and starts pulling you in the direction of it. It will now drag you, I believe it is 10 or 15 feet. 15 feet in its direction. So you are going to be moved down to here, slowly making your way down, but you are now prone, or technically on your back right now.
So basically, as I start trying to pick myself back up, I get my feet pulled back out from under me.
Immediately, as soon as it happens, it's like, oh, never mind, I didn't want to stand up anyway.
Just you hear Belvedere say very loudly, this is going to be one of those days now.
Yep. And then, oh no, it's 25 feet, I'm sorry, so 10 more feet. And Slavomir, as you're standing directly in front of this thing, you watch as it reaches out, attempting to bite at you. Does an 18 hit?
It does.
All right, so as it kind of leans forward and kind of reaches in to bite at you, you feel its teeth sink in to your body, since you don't actually wear really good armor or any armor at all, and deals 17 piercing damage.
Ouch.
Okay.
If he's still raging from before, wouldn't that be reduced?
I didn't even get a turn to range.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a turn to rage for that yet.
My bad.
Mm-hmm. Avalana, you're up.
Have I heard the fighting?
You've heard a lot of splashing, and you heard Slavomir kind of let out a bit of a yell or a yelp as he got bit by this thing.
And Belvedere yelling about something about a shitty day.
Yeah. Oh, I see how that works now. Okay, I did that last round wrong, but that's fine. We'll just roll with it. I'll fix it on the next one. So yeah, Avalana, you heard some splashing, but you have no idea what's going on.
How do I do the measuring tool again?
The measuring tool is the one that looks like a ruler to the side here, directly underneath of the magnifying glass. More food.
Yeah, I cast Vicious Mockery at the beast.
A wisdom save at the beast. It drastically failed. It was like it had a crit 1 and a nat 20 for the roll. That's awesome. So what do you say to this beast?
Well, I had an insult for the spider, so I'm going to use that insult onto this creature.
All right.
You're the ugliest bug I have ever seen, and I know that spiders aren't bugs, so double zinger.
So, this thing able to comprehend you, a little more confused than hurt, as you call it a spider, and then it's not a spider, so it's now confused and does a little bit of damage to it. But beyond that, it looks pretty healthy. Anything else?
I'm also going to give Belvedere some bardic inspiration.
Okay. So you say a quick word, and give Belvedere a point of bardic inspiration that he can use moving forward.
And that'll be all for my turn.
All right. Vormash, you are now up. You heard Avalana say some inspiring words to Belvedere and also tried to call out the beast to the south.
I don't understand what. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna head out, hearing all of that. Excuse me. Sorry. Pardon me. I think I saw some distance. Check for it. That would be like, yeah, that would be like my max movement. So I'm gonna move up here. So I got the wrong tool. Not right there. And I'm gonna throw a fireball at it.
Alrighty. Yeah. No. I'm sorry. No. A 17 does not hit.
Oh, wow. All right.
Well,
That's the thing. Anything else?
I think I might have some. No, that's it.
Alright, so you cast Firebolt at it and you watch as it
No, that's
literally...
all I got. That's my turn.
You watch as it flies right in the right direction, but it actually catches on the rock directly in front of it instead of hitting it, obviously doing nothing to the rover. Slavomir, you are now in front of this thing. It's terrifying.
Rage.
You are going to rage.
And savage attack. 21 for my first.
Yeah, 21 hits. Yeah.
And that's +2 for rage.
Yep. Oof.
Second.
Yeah,
second one
unfortunately.
did
Yeah.
for-
Yeah, unfortunately, the second one. So you come around, quick swipe, and you catch this thing perfectly. You see it kind of wince a little bit and pull back. Its tendrils kind of flapping a little bit as you hit it and dealing a considerable amount of damage to it and thinking you're going to kind of benefit from the first attack. You make a second one swiping back towards it again, and unfortunately it misses as this thing kind of moves out of the way of it, kind of leaning down towards where the first strike was, allowing it to dodge your attack.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Alrighty. Belvedere, you just watched Slavomir get a good hit, but second hit missed, and you are prone or on your back.
it would take my action to get ungrappled or whatever. I'm assuming.
You would take your movement to stand up, and you would need to give me a strength save to break free.
Could I cut
Actually-
the tentacle with a sword?
You could, yes. It's grabbing onto your foot, so if you wanted to attack it, you could attack it.
I will attack it then.
So you swipe down with the long sword, and unfortunately it's moving around a little too much for you, and it does not hit.
I was going to ask to use my inspiration.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Go ahead and give me your 1d6. Yeah, I think it's 1d6. Oh, yeah. So yeah, with the 1d6 added in there, you definitely hit. Go ahead and give me some damage on it. Alright, so as you chop down on this thing with your long sword, you feel it make a good connection. It cuts through a good ways. You feel the sword kind of get stuck in it, and as you pull it back out, unfortunately it did not release and it's going to continue to pull you forward.
Make my
Bringing
second
you...
attack.
Yep, go ahead.
Guided strike.
Yeah. Okay, and even with guided strike, you do not land your shot.
What
And
kind of AC does this silly thing
And
have?
you watch as this thing pulls you in closer and immediately prepares to bite down on you.
Uh,
I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon.
and it has disadvantage.
So you have two. You have extra attack, right? Because you're level 5. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
So extra attack.
My
Yep.
set-
Yep. Go ahead. Yep.
And then
So
spiritual weapon's a bonus action anyway.
yep. So you cast spiritual weapon where you want it at.
But below me, but next to what did I call? I can't think of the name of the off the top of my head.
The stalactite.
Yeah.
So you want it here? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I like to
Drop this.
have it finish detaching me from the from this tentacle.
Okay. So go ahead and give me your 24 hits. Go ahead and give me damage. Yep. So as the sword comes down and immediately swipes onto the tendril, you hear as it lets out a big yell, and you watch as the tendril, the remainder of the tendril, kind of shrivels back a little bit, releasing you. You are no longer grappled from it, but you are still on your back. You have not stood up yet.
Can I use my movement to stand up, since I technically haven't yet?
Sure. So you stand
Yeah,
up.
I'll stand up
Alrighty.
and prepare my shield. Be ready to take on this thing.
All right. And with that, this thing is now directly in front of you. It will attack. It is going to attack Belvedere, Slavomir, Vormash, and that will be it. The tendril. 1 second. Belvedere, 17 to hit.
It's
Nope.
got disadvantage.
At disadvantage, still 17 to hit.
Armor class 19.
Slavomir, 19 to hit.
Yep, hit.
Alright, you are now grappled by this thing. And Vormash, a 26 to hit.
Just barely hits.
Just barely.
Is that at disadvantage as well?
At disadvantage, a 23, but he is not next to you, so you couldn't really cast disadvantage on that? Or you couldn't give a disadvantage?
No, so it's not me.
Oh, okay, so it's just the enemy in front of you. Gotcha. Yep. I gotcha.
So it's any enemy I hit.
Yep. And still, it attacked at a 23, so it would still hit. Pretty
I
sure.
tried.
You tried. So yeah, with that, it is immediately going to pull. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing.
Whoa.
25 feet to that location. But it is going to quickly reach over and bite at Belvedere. Does a 22 hit?
That hits.
Alright, so as he quickly reaches in, having a grapple on Slavomir and Vormash, turns in your direction, biting down, dealing 24 piercing damage.
Ouch. 24, reduced by 3 since of my heavy armor master.
Mhm. Yep, so 21 piercing. Avalana, you are up.
Okay, by the way, so now because it hit, Belvedere has resistance to, what is it, piercing?
Yeah, whatever the damage was, yep.
I cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Okay, 1 second. So now he has resistance to piercing for the next attack. Is that correct?
He just had it for that attack.
Oh, okay. For that attack? Yeah, so reduce that in half then. So 12 and then minus your 3 off of that. So you will take 9 piercing damage on that.
And the drums beat louder.
There we go.
And the drums beat louder. Wisdom save. Yeah, it definitely saved. So as you begin saying these somewhat not nice words to this thing, looks
selfish, so
it-
it definitely doesn't understand what I'm saying.
yeah, it looks in your direction. It's not very pleased with you. It wants to bring you in and gobble you up like it did the other dead body that you threw to it, or Formosh threw to it.
I'm
So,
gonna.
yeah.
I'm going to then cast Bardic Inspiration at Vormosh, and I'm going to encourage him by saying, "This is all your fault."
Way
I
to go! You
appreciate
did
the
this.
encouragement.
Fucking solve it already. All right.
That is my turn.
All right. Vormosh, she told you to deal with your shit. You are grappled. You can strength save to break free if you would like to, or you could find other things to do. Up to you.
I could strength save, but I'm going to cast Misty Step to teleport myself away from the grapple.
Nice. Where are you going?
I'm going back here. Okay. It's 30 feet. It's like an instant 30 feet. So I'm gonna say, not right there. I'm gonna say over here. Is that 30 feet?
Yeah, go back one more. That's 30.
Yeah, that's 30. All right.
Mhm.
And let's see. Okay. Hearing those inspiring words, I'm gonna cast lightning bolt at the creature.
Alrighty. Alright, what is this? Dex save, what is the DC?
Hold on, I have to roll for that.
It failed. I don't even have to look, it failed. So go ahead and give me the 8d6 damage. Oh, beefy.
By
Alright.
the way, my Bardic Inspiration's actually D8s now.
Is it D8 now? Nice. Okay, so yeah, we now know D8s instead of D6s. Oh, right, level 5, right? Is it level 5 or level 4 that jumps up? I think it was 5.
I'm not sure.
I think it's 5. Alright, so yeah, you cast lightning on this thing. And as you cast it, standing in the middle of the water, you watch as this thing immediately just gets shocked and just craziness as this thing, the tendrils flap around everywhere, dealing a good amount of damage to it. But this thing looks still ready to go and ready to gobble down some more bad guys.
I say unlimited power in my head.
Unlimited power. Slavomir, you're up.
Oh, did it fail or save the save?
It failed.
Okay, right, so full damage.
Yeah, full damage. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you definitely break free from the tendril that was trying to hold on to you, wrapped around your waist. What are you doing?
First attack with advantage.
So that counts as your action. Breaking free counts as your primary action.
All right, then the second one, I guess, was my second attack, and that didn't do that great.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, a 14 will not hit.
All right, well, that's that. That's the end of my turn.
All right. Belvedere, you are up. Your friends are all standing, at least, though.
Indeed. How well off does this creature look?
looks ready to go.
Alright, time to make 2 more longsword attacks.
Alrighty. Oh yeah. Oh, now would have been the time for Divine Smite,
Oh,
but you already used it.
I can use Divine Smite. I can use it at the end of any of my attacks.
Yeah. Oh wait, I thought you already used it.
Oh, Divine Smite is cast as just using my spell slots.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I can declare it. Unlike my other smite spells, I can declare it.
Damn, I shouldn't have even said anything. I should have just let it go. That's all on me.
Oh, don't worry. I was going to use Divine Smite anyway.
All right, so give me the damage on that. Yeah. Max damage, so 8 instead of a 3, so 19 damage. Plus 2 radiant, so 21.
I think Divine Smite damage should also technically be crit, so it should be...
Yeah, it should. So go ahead and give a second 2d8.
Roll 2.
Or actually an 8 on that too. Yeah. Yeah, right?
Yeah, it'll be 2d8 again.
16. Yeah, another 2d8. Go ahead and give it to me. Just roll /R 2d8. There you go. There you go.
That's my first attack.
All right.
22.
Yeah, the second one hits too.
You know, screw it. I'm using my last spell slot for another Divine Smite because this thing has really pissed me off. And then my bonus action to use for a spiritual weapon attack.
Okay. I need damage for the actual attack though. You didn't give me damage on it. So 6, so another 10 damage. Okay.
And then the 4 radiant, and then
so the
weapon,
sword attack,
misses.
yeah, does not hit.
And that's my turn.
All right. So, feeling the divine energy from your deity, you immediately come in with a couple of good longsword swipes, hitting it perfectly, casting Divine Smite as you hit them, feeling them catch purchase as they land into the scaly skin of this beast, dealing a significant amount of damage to it. Your spiritual weapon, however, as it comes down, is not able to make purchase and does absolutely nothing to it. Avalana, I think, may... Oh. Let's try that again. Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing now. Alright, so Avalana does a 20 hit.
Yes. Whatever
Alright.
you said, it's yes.
Alright, so pulling you 25 feet in this direction, you are grappled at this time. Belvedere does a 14 hit.
No, sir.
Slavomir does an 8 hit.
No, sir.
Vormash does a 17 hit.
1 second. Yeah, it'll hit.
Alright. So like your previous experience with this, you feel this thing grapple onto you and start pulling you in its direction, and it will immediately turn as you are close enough to it and will bite down on you. Does a 14 hit.
I did not mean to hit that spell, by the way.
That's okay.
14 would hit, but I cast shield as a reaction, so it doesn't hit.
Alright, so as it reaches down to bite into you, protect yourself, casting shield, and this thing goes to bite down, but you're able to kind of dodge out of the way and kind of kick your feet in the direction of the face of it, and it kind of backs away a little bit, not actually landing the attack. With that, Avalana, you are now grappled and being pulled in the direction of this beast.
And I'd also like to cast Bardic Inspiration on Slavomir, because I haven't done him yet. And I'm casting Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
All right, so you cast this. This is a Wisdom save. What's the DC?
It would be 14.
All right, so it rolled a 20, so does not fall prone, and nothing happens to it, correct?
Yeah. So I just say knock knock, and nothing happens.
All right. Yeah, you say knock knock. This thing doesn't even respond to you. Doesn't even care that you said anything. It still has you grappled and will be pulling you in this direction. Vormash, you are grappled. You are inspired, and you are right next to this beast.
One last time, I'm going to cast Misty Step again.
Alrighty. Cast Misty Step. Break yourself free of the grapple.
I'm going to head towards Avalana.
Okay.
Stay right there. Or like it teleports me here, but then I use my movement to go up to Avalana.
Alrighty.
I'll put my hand on Avalana's shoulder and cast Mage Armor.
Alright. So it gives her a bonus to her AC, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. 13 plus your Dex mod. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright. Slavomir, you are up. Oh, yes. Yeah, that definitely hits.
A lot of nat 20s today.
Yeah, lots of nats. Tell me how you just slayed this beast.
So there I am in the murky water, and I just go for a windmill attack, and I just swing round and round until I cut off all of its tentacles.
Nice. And as you do, you watch as the tendrils fall to the ground, the stumps of them kind of wiggling in the air, blood pouring from this thing as it drops to the ground, its maw open wide and fallen, its single eye in the middle of its head now closed, and is dead in front of you.
Finally.
I'll help Avalana get out of the tentacle she's wrapped up in.
Thank you.
I was looking forward to this encounter.
I stab it a couple times out of anger anyway.
As I dissipate out of rage, I grab the dead body, and then I look at Vormash, and then I look at the dead body, and then I look at Vormash, and I give them both very disappointing looks.
To be fair, that dead
they
body
had a
could
lot
have
of really
easily
good
been one
rolls
of us
tonight.
accidentally stepping on the creature. It wasn't until we all went after it that it came out. It would have just taken the body and probably left.
Very, very lucky. You were
Honestly, I
absolutely
think it was
right.
there from beforehand and just didn't bother us until we gave it a tasty morsel.
Agree to disagree.
Belvedere, give me a perception check. As you're kind of looking around, you look down in the direction of the dead body of this beast. You see what appears to be several glowing items inside the mouth of this thing.
Ooh, I reached down and pulled them out.
Within that, you find an assortment of 5 different rings, varying in different types of material and quality, each worth 250 gold pieces each. And you find a mandolin in surprisingly really good condition.
I'll call Avalana. I think I found you a gift.
Really? What is it?
And I'll show her. I'll hold up the mandolin above my head.
I'm gonna run and I'm gonna grab it.
Okay. You feel this this doesn't look like any mandolin that you've ever seen before. It's quite different. And like I mentioned too, Belvedere is in surprisingly really good shape.
I'm gonna play a song. I'll play a song about dragons for Slavomir for killing the beast.
All right. Now Lana begins playing a song of dragons with this mandolin. Yeah, could give us a performance check. All right. Thanks, Havoc. Have a good night, man. Actually, no. I need you to actually give me a wisdom save, please.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'm right next to you.
I had to go back and read this because it's a thing. Oh yeah, yeah, you're able to play it. Though it feels a little odd to you.
How does it feel odd? Like what kind of feeling is it giving me?
You feel as if it was trying to attack you as you were attempting to play it. You feel a mental attack from this mandolin as you begin strumming the strings on it.
Hey Varmash,
Yep.
you know anything about magic items?
Who do you think you're talking to? Oh, of course, here, let me have a look.
Cause I feel like this mandolin was trying to attack me.
Huh. Strange. And I put my hands out like requesting to have a closer look at it.
I'll give it to him, but be careful because it might attack you.
I'm not gonna play it. I want to roll an Arcana check to see if I can sense any magic in it.
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
Did I at least play well?
You played okay. It feels like a mandolin to you, Ormash.
Huh. I like sway it up and down, checking the weight, pretending like I know what I'm doing. I mean, it seems normal to me, but if you felt attacked, I would not suggest playing it again.
Can I do an Arcana check since I'm proficient?
What are you trying to Arcana check?
To see if it's magical or am I just crazy?
I mean, you could. It would be a little more efficient if you used an Identify check or an Identify spell, if that's what you're trying to do.
Well, I just realized I did all of my spells wrong. I have 5 level 1 spells, and I'm only supposed to have 4.
Well, no, you can have as many level 1 spells as you want, but that number is just the number of spell slots, that's all. You can have as many whatever level you want. You could have all level 2 or all level 3. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, your
All
9
right.
spells is based on like charisma plus your level or whatever.
I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna set it down gently on the floor, and back up maybe a good 10 feet. And I ask Alana to back up with me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and have the Mage Hand play it. See if anything happens.
It would be forced to make a wisdom save, but it doesn't have a wisdom save modifier, so it would not be able to play this item. I'm going to say it won't be able to play the item.
Alright, well, I try.
Because it feels, Mage Hand would feel that it's being attacked. And at which point it would not want to cooperate.
But I can tell the Mage Hand is being attacked?
You can tell that the Mage Hand is refusing to be able to help you.
I see what you mean. The mage hand is not cooperating, so yes, there is something in there that is attacking.
So what is that, Avalana? Did you just put that on? Okay. But you cannot do that. You cannot change your spells unless you're on a long rest.
I didn't change it. I was actually trying to delete it, so I still have it.
All right. So giving a minute's worth of time, the sword obviously disappears. You are able to cast Identify on this item, and this is what you see. It's now in your loot items.
Where is it?
It's under player handouts and loot.
We don't get to see it.
Nope. All right, Vormosh, as you asked earlier, give me another investigation check with your coins, please.
You got it.
Yeah, as mentioned before, you felt that as you headed around the corner over here, and especially when you were standing in this direction, you felt the vibration of the coins a little heavier than before, than what you did as you were standing over in this area here. Leads you to believe that it's probably over and leading you in this direction.
The vibrations are getting stronger in this direction.
You're kind of breaking up again, by the way.
I'm going to just hold on to this mandolin like it's the most important thing in my life.
Okay. Are you attuning to that item?
Yes, I am attuning to it if you will allow me to.
Okay. So whenever you take your time to do so, you will be able to attune to that item and then use it.
Sorry.
What were you going to ask? Vormosh? Or no, I'm sorry, Slavomir.
Oh, I was just gonna move next to Vormosh and bring the body with me.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you bring the body over to the shoreline over here. Avalana, you can spend, when you guys take a short rest, you can spend that time to attune to the item if you so choose.
Awesome.
Looking at the body, I turn back to Slavomir and I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Was he someone you knew?"
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Vibrations got stronger in this direction.
Hey, Belvedere,
Oh, all right.
Yes?
you found more stuff out of that monster, right?
I did now. Hold on. Show the 5. Just regular rings.
Yeah, they're just generic rings worth about 250 gold each.
Oh, okay. Because I have 2 more slots.
I think it was 250 gold each. I'm going to double check that. Now I'm going to copy and paste it so I don't get it wrong. Yes, 250 gold each.
Quite a bit of gold there.
All right. So heading east, Vormosh, as I mentioned, the closer you get to the east of this area, the more that coin begins to vibrate.
I keep heading east.
Okay.
Just shout ahead to him, be careful.
Don't worry, as I may have some. It may be my fault from our previous encounter, so I will go first on as punishment.
Just keep an eye out for anything weird.
And as
Maybe you should go first behind me.
As you enter into the eastern passage, the tunnelway kind of shortens down to about a 10-foot height. Up ahead, the cavern splits in several directions to the northwest and northeast. Very little is to be found except for a singular stalagmite standing in the northeast. Around the corner to the southeast, as you continue to venture around, you notice that there's a statue of a mage carrying a wand in its right hand at the end of the hall. Down to your south, where you're currently at, you see a very large pool of blood starting to turn a bit yellow and orangish colored, as if it's been there for quite some time.
I take it that there are more people here than those two wrapped up gentlemen. But I point the coins in every direction and see which one they vibrate towards.
Can you repeat that? Your mic is like all over the place. Can hear you, just barely.
I point the coins in each direction and see which ones they vibrate towards.
It is still leading you east.
Oh, the coins point east, but should we explore the other direction before we go?
Maybe we should split up and search all the corridors.
That's a terrible idea.
I agree.
The last thing we need is be split up and then get ambushed by another giant spider or whatever. Insert name of the stalactite monster here.
All right. We'll investigate the coin's vibration first, and if there's time, we'll come back to the other paths. And I start to head towards the east end.
Okay. Again, to your northeast, you see another stalagmite in the corner, but nothing else up there. To your southeast, as you kind of round the corner, is the statue of a mage carrying a wand that stands at the end of the hall, several steps down into the room.
Can I mage hand the wand off the statue?
One sec. So yeah, you are going. What are you trying to do with it?
I just want to see if I can take the wand off the statue with the mage hand.
So as the mage hand grabs onto the end of the scepter and it starts to pull, you notice that the statue actually begins to turn as it pulls pressure on the corner of that statue. But it's not strong enough to actually do anything.
Like, Slavomir, help me turn this.
Okay. And I guess I try to turn it.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Can I help him?
Yeah, with advantage. Yeah, so as you grab onto the scepter, similar to what the mage hand did, and you start to pull it from the east to the west, you notice as the statue rotates a bit, and off in the distance, you hear the sound of the very familiar sound of stone rumbling against stone, kind of grinding into place. But from where you stand, you don't actually see where it's at.
Looks like we're going to be exploring elsewhere anyway.
I pull out the coins. Does it vibrate any stronger in this room?
Continues to pull you to the east.
Strange. The coins keep pulling east, but as you can see, there's nothing else there. Can we keep turning the statue, or is that as far as it can go?
The statue no longer moves, so as Slavomir kind of rotated the thing around, it turned, and then suddenly it just stopped. It immediately came to an abrupt stop.
I'd like to examine the 2 rooms up here to the north.
Okay. Slavomir, you see a room with a statue. Belvedere, give me a perception check. That is a very well crafted or well made by nature stalagmite. Like, you have never seen a stalagmite that looked that awesome before.
I look at it and nod approvingly. What a nice stalagmite.
What a nice stalagmite.
I walk in. And yes, that is a nice stalagmite. And I throw an Eldritch Blast at it.
And now it is ruined, because Vormash doesn't like nice things.
How rude, sir. And I walk to the other room.
There was nothing in there? Nothing inside?
Nope.
Weird room. And I
Nothing in this room either, I imagine.
Nope.
I'll go to the room to the south.
Pass by a crumbled group of rock that seems to have fallen from the ceiling above. You look up and there's a bit of an opening, but it's not anywhere close enough that you could actually reach it yourself. Belvedere, as you kind of make your way down this tunnel passageway here, on your left-hand side as you're heading south, you notice an opening into the cavern that doesn't look like it was there before. Leads into a very well-lit cavern off to the east. As the party starts making their way down and enters into this cavern, you are greeted by a room currently lit with 4 braziers leading towards an altar at the end of the hall.
Oh, yes. Let's keep heading east. What's this thing to the south of the room? I'm going to walk towards that.
You walk down towards that thing at the south of the room, and that thing is a giant, like a bowl full of blood that is starting to turn from red to like an orange or yellow.
It's gross is what it is.
It's very gross.
Oh.
The rest of the party, as you walk into this room, on the floor directly in front of what looks to be an altar is a ritual marking in blood on the floor. The braziers obviously lit, candles remaining lit on the altar itself. The altar, almost 15 foot wide, stands in the middle of the room, a granite block standing in the center of it, reaching up about 10 foot or 5 foot in height, bearing a golden inlet, all of which is covered in blood. The edges of the inlay and the granite block itself are surrounded by very deep gouges and marring on the surface. A knife rests upon the block itself. To the north of the block is a podium in the shape of a four-pointed star, rounded at the ends.
Everybody, I think you'll find this symbol familiar.
You're not even in the room.
Yeah, and I'm trying to tell the party
Oh,
to be like, don't just walk on the stuff or start grabbing things.
Oh, I walked into the. I'm with them right now. Can you not see my token?
No, it shows you over here for me.
Oh, let me leave.
Here, I'll move you. I'll move. Yeah, there you go.
Can I do like
Yeah, I
a
want to make.
perception check to like make sure this isn't a trap, like
I wanna-
Belvedere's saying?
I would do an investigation check if possible.
Avalana, give me an investigation check to look for traps around the room. Belvedere, what are you looking for?
That's what I was saying. Is I want to look.
Same
for
thing.
traps.
So go ahead and do it with advantage.
I might have the better investigation because I have double proficiency in it.
Yeah.
So if I want to do it for advantage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
Alrighty. As you're kind of looking around, nothing seems untoward to you. You don't see anything that stands out as a trap. It's just very creepy. Very creepy.
It doesn't look like a trap to me.
Nothing looks like a trap to you. Even a
I'm
trap
gonna go
wouldn't look like a trap to you.
I look at Belvedere and I go, "Our old friend the Scarlet's Hand's been here."
Unfortunately.
I pull the coins out and point in the direction to where they're vibrating.
And immediately leading you straight to the north. About where Slavomir's standing. Somewhere close. Give me a perception check as you get up there, though.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna definitely walk around that circle and not through it like everyone else is just candidly doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go check out. I'm assuming that's a bunch of gems maybe down there.
Yep. Some random loose gems.
This place looks legit.
Man, this place is cool. Should be my new apartment.
Let's carpet over the symbol. Real inviting.
I'll carefully gather up the gems, and then I want to check out like all the just crates and barrels and jars and things over there, and we'll check those out.
Mm-hmm. There's not a lot inside of the jars or the crates. It's mostly empty. The gems don't look to be in very good quality. Maybe you sell for a few copper or something like that. They mostly look decorative more than anything.
Trash.
So I'm on the pedestal. Do I see anything?
You can give me an investigation check. So as you're kind of looking around at the pedestal, your eyes more specifically lock on to the granite top, the 5-foot tall granite block here where the knife is resting upon. You notice the golden inlay in the dead center of it, and it appears to be about the same size as those coins that you carry.
I'm gonna mage hand grab it.
It doesn't move.
Oh, Slavomir, do you still have that 10-foot pole?
I have a 10-foot pole.
Belvedere, do you mind if I see that 10-foot pole real quick?
Sure. I'll even extend it just so I can hand it to him without having to, like, walk over the circle. Because Belvedere wants nothing else to do with that.
Thank you. And I try to poke it with the 10-foot coin, or with the 10-foot pole, just to see if I can just get it off the table.
Doesn't move.
Alright, I'm gonna move closer to it and take out both my coins and see if they vibrate to it.
I want to stop him first, and I want to do divine sense.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Well, divine sense,
Something evil?
evil or desecration, consecration, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that worked or not. I pressed the button, but it didn't seem to be doing anything.
As you're looking around with your divine sense, the only thing that really stands out to you and gives you an odor is the ritual marking on the ground and the blood that lays on top of the granite pedestal. Beyond that, as most of the stuff within here, you can tell it kind of gives off that very creepy, ritualistic vibe. But other than that, you don't notice anything else.
So just basically the blood goes off. Or
Yeah, it's the ritual. You get the sense of the ritual itself that was once performed here, but beyond that, you don't feel anything else.
All right. After giving it a quick scan, I'd be like, I think you should be fine. I don't detect anything that's necessarily evil outside of what's already been done.
Okay, but just in case, Slavomir, I want you to be ready in case anything happens. And I walk up and I with my hand.
You what?
I grab it. What? Did you hear me, or did you want me to repeat?
I couldn't understand you. You're breaking up really bad, dude.
Sorry. I grab it with my hand.
Okay. You grab the knife.
Yeah, I grab the knife first.
Okay. You pick up a knife.
Put it in my pack.
Okay.
And what else is on the table?
It's not the table that you were looking at. It's the granite block in the middle that has the inlay. You know what an inlay is, correct?
Yeah.
It's like a divot within the block. That's with a golden ring around the outside edge of it. Beyond that, there's some just miscellaneous stuff, the knife, skull, and stuff like that on the little table there. Same with what's on the bigger table out to the side.
All right. Nothing nefarious here, and I pull out my coins and see what direction they vibrate towards.
To your northeast.
What do I see here in the center?
Again, I gave you the description. So directly in front of you is the granite block with the inlay and the golden ring around it. The ring, as your investigation check led you to see, the inside of that ring is roughly the size of one of the coins that you carry.
Okay, so I'm going to take out the coin that I found in the dungeon, and I'm going to put it inside that golden ring.
Okay, and as you do, nothing happens.
All right, and I take it out.
Okay, to get it out, you'll have to use a knife or something to kind of pry it up and out of that opening.
Okay, good thing I grabbed that small knife, so I use that.
All right.
The coins vibrate here, but I don't know what I'm missing.
I'm gonna step up to beside the altar, and I'm gonna ask him to hand me one of the coins. And I want to compare it to the ring that's on the table. Would they be about the same size?
Both of the coins are about the same size.
Is the ring on the table?
Yeah, the inlay, yeah.
I'm gonna say, "You alright if I place this coin into this inlay?"
Sure, go ahead. I hand him the coin that the king gave me.
Okay. Avalana, it is a hole that leads roughly about 15 or 20 feet down from where you were at, but you cannot see any ground down below it. Just a big open cavern. Belvedere, as you walk up, you're placing the one that the king gave him. Is that right?
Yeah, whatever one he hands me, and then I'll place it on the inlay.
As you place the coin into the inlay, the coin begins to vibrate a little more and then begins to glow. And directly to the north of it, the podium begins to glow as well, a bluish colored icon, a bunch of script and runes written around it. And then the center of it, as it begins to glow and hum, you notice there is a small round pearl resting on top of a black platinum ring with a single green jade made into the band.
I'm going to tell them to back up, and I'm going to try and mage hand it to grab it.
All right.
Yeah, I'll step back off the podium. I'd also like to use Divine Sense once again. Actually, how long does Divine Sense last? I don't even know. Doesn't really say. End of my next turn, so yeah, I'll spend another Divine Sense to see if any of this gives off any bad vibes.
The thing directly in front of you does not. They do appear to carry a magical sense to them, but they do not give off a sense of anything evil or undead.
No goodness either?
What's that?
Nothing good either? Like, no goodness?
No, they're just magic items.
Okay.
So I'm still going to grab it with my mage hand, though.
Okay, and you lift the two items up, and nothing bad happens.
Okay, I'm going to put them in my pack.
Okay.
And I'm also going to take the coin off the inlay.
Okay, and as you pry the coin off the inlay, from around the corner of the room, you hear the sound of clapping entering into the chambers.
Oh no.
I start clapping back.
Each of you getting a very familiar sense of a cold grip of death overtaking your body, and as you stand, you watch as Tyrus walks around the corner with Eleonora directly behind him. And he looks around the room, over at Avalana a little bit, and then over towards Vormash, who's standing around the platform, and says, So the old man did keep secrets from me. I assumed that once his fever reached a boiling point that he would start to talk, though I didn't anticipate you'd be here attempting to intervene in all of this. It is unfortunate that so many people had to die for me to prove a point. Isn't that right, little one? And looks directly at Avalana.
I'll look at Avalon too and just say, don't do anything.
What I do is I pull my head out from the hole that it was in, and I look up and I see Tyrus, and I say, hey, that was not nice to kill all those people, but it taught me a valuable lesson. To not run headlong into things, but please give me Eleonora back.
And
I put my head back down in the hole.
He looks at you and chuckles and says, Do you really think I'm gonna let you have my pet? No. You see, I've been searching for this place for quite some time. I knew it existed. But even my connection to the Weave couldn't tell me how to get into this place. In my search, I turned over every rock I could. Even hunted down Eleonora to find this, but with no avail.
Hey, Tyrus, buddy, pal, is this the Shrine of Natar? I pull my head out of the tunnel again to say this.
Again, looks at you, shaking his head a little bit, saying, It's obvious you have no idea where you are or what you are dealing with. The Scarlet Hand has been here inside of this cavern looking for exactly what you have on your person, Vormash. The ring. Give it to me.
I respectfully refuse.
Did you think I came all the way here for fucking conversation? You're either going to give me this ring or you will not survive the day. Now I will ask you again. Give me the fucking ring or I will take it from your dead hands myself.
I really wish I still had Misty Step.
Just saying that, I wish I still had any spells.
Alright. I turn to my teammates and kind of ask him mentally ask him what I should do.
As you turn, he looks at you and says, do you think this is a fucking group decision? Are you gonna let your friends decide your life for you? You will hand me that ring or I will kill you without question.
Oh, I was considering it, but now that you put it that way,
I attempt to cast suggestion on him.
what?
Oh, Jesus.
Alright, I'll let this play out. I'm gonna see if I have something.
Okay.
My suggestion is to leave.
What is it, a wisdom save?
Okay,
What's the DC?
14.
Oh, goodness.
As you say this to him and your voice enters into his head, he looks at you, not even giving you his full attention, just peeking out of the corner of his eyes, staring over directly at you and chuckles and says, "You pathetic little fool, did I not teach you the first time?"
as he says that, I cast Magic Circle around us, and hopefully he's one of the things on the list that he can't get inside.
Okay.
I would like... I don't know. I would like to take hold of my holy symbol and start uttering a quiet prayer to Tyr.
Okay, is he a celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead?
No.
I think he's kind of beyond any of those distinctions.
I would maybe a celestial.
I cast Tasha's hideous laughter at him.
Wisdom save again?
Yep, 14.
Why is this a wisdom save and not... Oh, wait, never mind. I'm stupid. Ignore me.
Okay, hold on. Because now I'm going to figure out, because now that's twice you've attempted to attack him. He's not going to just let that go. Hold on.
He ain't gonna take that ring.
I don't think we have much of a choice at this point.
Does anyone have any fake rings we can give them?
Well, yeah,
Avalana, I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
I mean, technically I have the fake rings, but I think he'll know exactly, the difference pretty quickly. Unless, I don't know, do any of the rings that I picked up before happen to look like the ring that we just picked up?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Oh, holy shit. So, you watch as Tyrus walking forward in the direction of the party. One sec. Walking forward towards the party, Avalana again casting a spell to try to interfere. And you watch as he reaches and extends his right hand out in Avalana's direction, and immediately her body begins to, her skin begins to decay and crumble, and she falls to the ground. Her entire body, her entire flesh, rotting from on top of her skin, or on top of her muscle, as Tyrus continues to walk forward. Currently, Evelana, you are inflicted with flesh rot, and you will have disadvantage on all charisma saving throws, and you are super vulnerable to all types of damage at the moment.
Ooh, shit.
Can I start praying along with Belvedere, but to a different god?
Okay, all right.
Oh.
I present the ring on the palm of my hand to him, and I'll see what he does. Does he try and reach for it?
He reaches out with his right hand.
I cast catapult and fling the ring across the room.
Man, I really wish you wouldn't have done that.
I go get it.
It's over here. Somewhere-ish.
Yeah, it's somewhere there around Eleonora.
Okay.
What?
Tyrus, not doing anything, looks directly at you, locks eyes with you, doesn't say a word. Eleonora, on the other hand, walking over, grabbing the ring and picking it up, and slowly walks it over, handing it over to him.
I want to say, but she's like goes and picks it up and starts walking over. I want to try to persuade her, just reach out to her and be like, Eleonora, you're not this man's puppet, not his servant. Snap out of it already.
And as you say this, just stone-faced. Nothing. She's not responsive. She's nothing. She's just focused on what she is being told to do, and that task is to pick up that ring and bring it to Tyrus. As she kind of walks up, Tyrus reaching his right hand out, laying it open effortlessly, not even looking. You watch as she places it on the center of his palm, and he quickly puts it onto the middle finger of his right hand, then clutches his hand tightly. His head.
Is he wearing any other similar rings to it or anything?
No, this is completely unique. He looks back at the party, his eyes now glowing a very deep green, and the fires of the braziers around the room illuminating his eyes, making it stand out even more. You notice as he tilts his head back, his skin is completely pale, almost a greenish tone. The cloak, or the hood of the cloak, falls back and exposes his very long, high elven pointed ears. The veins in his face are now darkening as each second passes, and the wicked grin crosses his face. And he looks over at you guys and smiles a little bit, and looks over at Eleonora and says, "It's pathetic, really. If these are the best warriors Etoril has to offer, then perhaps I need to broaden my horizons a bit."
Yeah, look at some other continent.
Well, to be fair, it went a lot better in my head.
And as he says this, you watch as they both turn, start walking away. And before you can even move, Tyrus takes the staff into his left hand, raising it above his head. And I need 1 second, please. Is it gonna roll? Oh no, did it bug?
Apparently.
Maybe.
The gods have refused him to attack.
The gods are not allowing me to attack you now. Holy shit. Oh, that sucks. Okay, hold on.
I was praying. I was telling you I was praying.
You know, in hindsight, I probably should have flung it towards the hole.
Hindsight, you should have put it on yourself.
Oh, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know what that thing did.
Alright, so it is...
To be honest, if I had the ring, I would have swallowed it.
I'm sure he would have gotten it.
Well, so you would probably be dead now. After he literally would just play you up.
Does a 16 hit any of you?
No.
Not if I cast shield.
It is going from.
Wait, do I still have mage armor on me?
I'll show. Hold on, I gotta outline this here.
Mage armor is 18
Yeah.
hours, or 8 hours.
It's 8 hours. Yeah. so
It
you
goes
still
in
have
this
mage armor.
direction, so everything in that path is going to be hit.
Well, I mean, it's a 16 to attack. I have 19 AC with my shield.
Okay.
Yeah, I casted shield, so it misses.
Okay. Vorma or Slavomir, does it hit? Is Slavomir here?
Slavomir!
Yeah, he's in. He's in the chat.
Yeah. I don't know where he went. That does not hit, or it's lower than. So, everybody standing in that area right there is going to take 17 ice damage.
Ouch!
17. Now, is it a good idea
Or
to use
6.
Hellish Rebuke?
Would it be? No, it'd be 16 ice damage or cold damage.
Do I take any damage?
You do not, because it is not cast at you right now. So everybody in that square will be hit by it. And you watch as he casts this, he kind of spins this staff in his hand, immediately placing it on the ground directly beside him. And as soon as it impacts the ground, you watch as him and Eleanor.
Wait. Did he let go of the staff?
No, he spun it and used the bottom end of it and stabbed it into the ground, and caused like a quake on the ground, like just like a tremor, and then disappeared into nothingness.
Okay. All right.
Just 16.
Ow.
He disappeared. And that ends our session.
Wait. As he disappears, like as soon as he's actually gone, I say, "Yeah, right. You run."
Oh, please stop. Oh.
All right. I'm going to end the stream, and then I'm going to come right back, and we're going to talk about this. All right. So, yeah, that was a thing. Thank you guys all for being here. That was some exciting stuff, right? As a reminder, Civil War Alliance is this Saturday. Ascension Sunday, Tyranny Monday, Giants on Wednesday next week. And then our next Alliance game is May 2nd. Thank you all for being here. This was a lot of fun, as always. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. If you can, if you're not already doing so, give us a follow. Be here to join us, have some fun, enjoy us. It's pretty fun. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll return again for our next adventure, and I will see you then.